Hello and welcome to News Morning here on Newday on TV3. My name is Beatrice. Coming up in the next few minutes. Parliament to commence consideration of anti-LGBTQI bill today as the House prepares to pass the bill again. Also on the program this morning, coalition of civil society organizations petition the National Petroleum Authority to take urgent regulatory action to halt the supply of fuel for illegal mining operations. And much later on the program, a foreign minister engages South African counterpart over viral videos showing attacks on foreigners, including Ghanaians. My name is Beatrice. Thank you once again for joining us on the program. We go to Parliament now, where the Constitutional and Legal Affairs Committee is expected to begin consideration of the Human Sexual Rights and Family Values Bill, also known as the Anti-LGBTQI Bill, today. The public hearing, which will continue on Friday, will provide avenue for the reintroduced legislation to be scrutinized for key input from stakeholders before Parliament resumes processes for its passage. It comes few weeks after the minority accused the government of bowing to donor and international pressure to frustrate the bill's passage, arguing that the strong campaign made by the NDC in opposition has silently evaporated. This caused the Speaker, Alban Bagwin, to make a fresh public declaration that the controversial bill will be passed once the House resumes sitting in May.
I'm not a man of words. I'm a man of action. And that is how we got it passed in Parliament. But for some reason, the President did not assent to it. I'm sure one of the reasons why you punished him and his party is one of this one. And the next meeting of Parliament will hear us asking to pass that bill into law. Don't listen to people who don't know what is in Parliament. His Excellency the President assured me that when we pass the bill and come to him, he has stated it before, he was going to assent. Our cultures and values and principles are different. They know the effect and what it is doing to them. We resist it today. We will not be colonized again.
Now, Ghana's Foreign Affairs Minister says he has spoken directly with his South African counterpart over videos circulating on social media showing foreign nationals, including Ghanaians, being subjected to violent attacks in South Africa. The Minister, Samuel Akudzeto-Ablakwa, says diplomatic efforts are underway to ensure the safety of Ghanaians in South Africa. Deborah Abamensa has the rest of the story.
What you have done is wrong.
How many children do you have here?
We can come to Ghana and do what you're doing.
EP passport.
Eh? Now you are carrying a bucket. It's 11 a.m. You were supposed to be fighting the government of Ghana there to ensure that they're getting things right.
No, there's no fight in Ghana. You must fight what they did.
Where's your papers?
And that was a Ghanaian victim in video circulating on social media showing foreign nationals being subjected to what right groups are calling xenophobic attacks in South Africa. The images have triggered a swift diplomatic response from Ghana. Ghana's Foreign Affairs Minister says he personally called his South African counterpart, Ronald Lamola, this morning over the videos. In a statement, the minister confirmed that South Africa's foreign minister expressed empathy with the victims and promised a full-scale investigation. South Africa is also expected to hold a briefing with African ambassadors. Foreign Affairs Minister Samuel Akudzeto-Ablakwa added the Ghana's High Commissioner to South Africa, Benjamin Kwashi, has located the main victim seen in the viral video and that consular assistance is being provided. He says the victim is doing well. The Foreign Minister also confirmed that no Ghanaian life has been lost and urged the public to remain calm. But some experts say diplomacy may not be enough. Professor Daniel Draman Kipo-Sunyezi of the Legon Center for International Affairs says the problem is one South Africa must address from within, calling on authorities there to improve internal security.
The problem is with South Africa.
And the citizens have refused to admit that there are internal problems, but they are putting the problems on migrants, which I think it is absolutely wrong. Migrants may have their own challenges, but they are not the main cause of the hardship that we are having. The issue should be looked within South Africa.
Right.
I think there are other things that are not right, and I will think the South African Authority need to take it upon themselves.
Security consultant Dr. Victor Doke is urging Ghana's Foreign Affairs Minister to take the matter further, escalating it to the African Union level, warning that these attacks are unlikely to end soon.
I think the first stage is where we have our foreign minister engaging with BS and then going overboard with other foreign ministers in them. Now, I should expect that our foreign minister should escalate this to the African Union, very much so, and where even the presidents will have to come in, because I don't see this, ending soon. We've talked about it happening before, prior to this very incident. It has happened before, and we don't know if it's going to happen next year.
This is not the first time Ghana or Africa has been here. South Africa has seen repeated waves of violence targeting foreign nationals since the end of apartheid. In 2008, more than 60 people were killed. In 2015, there was another nationwide outbreak. In 2019, riots in Johannesburg left at least 7 dead. The targets have consistently been African migrants from Zimbabwe, Nigeria, Somalia, Mozambique, and now Ghana. Analysts point to South Africa's unemployment rate, one of the highest in the world at around 32%, alongside deep poverty and competition for scarce resources as the underlying drivers. Groups like Operation Dudula have in recent years intensified pressure on foreign nationals, including blocking migrants from accessing hospitals and schools. The African Union, which champions the free movement of people across the continent, has faced repeated calls to take a stronger stance against anti-migrant violence within member states. For now, Ghana's government says it is monitoring the situation closely and remains in contact with its mission in South Africa.
In some other news, a coalition of civil society organizations has petitioned the National Petroleum Authority, NPA, to take urgent regulatory action to halt the supply of fuel to illegal mining operations. The group is warning that continued access to diesel is sustaining environmental destruction across the country. In a formal petition dated the 18th of April 2026, the coalition against Galamsey in Ghana called on the authority to take immediate and decisive regulatory action to support the government fight against illegal mining, commonly known as Galamsey. The group argued that while efforts to restrict the importation of excavators are commendable, illegal mining activities continue largely because operators still have access to fuel. The petition also is asking for the cutting of fuel supply and believes this would significantly disrupt illegal mining activities. Quote, it says, if we are to save our water bodies, forests and the health of our people from this ecocide, we must cut the supply lines, unquote. The group stressed. The coalition further alleged complicity within the fuel distribution chain, pointing to what it described as an anomalous density of fuel stations in known Galamsey hotspots. These areas, it said, often have more fuel stations per capita than major urban centers, despite having far fewer registered vehicles. In a related development, the National Petroleum Authority says it is concerned about the rising number of tanker drivers and their mates leaving the job for illegal mining due to low salaries in the petroleum haulage sector. NPA Chief Executive Officer Edigi Tamaklo has, however, indicated that persons who siphon fuel will be arrested and prosecuted once the police identify them after review of footage from accident scenes. Christian Yali reports.
Chief Executive Officer of the National Petroleum Authority, Godwin Eduji Tameklo, indicated that several tanker drivers and their mates abandoned their job for Galamsey after delivering fuel to mining communities. But he says there is a tanker driver remuneration framework to be implemented to address the salary concerns.
When they come there and they go to the mining communities to discharge petroleum products to the mine, he loses one mate. Because according to the mates, Oyam and Yana is more profitable than being a driver's mate. We are coming out with tanker drivers remuneration framework, whereupon we would ensure standardized payment by way of salary, and we strongly believe that if you pay your drivers well, will minimize the incidence of the accident as well.
Linking the salary concerns to tanker accident, he reviewed ongoing efforts to identify residents who siphon fuel for arrest and prosecution.
When you see a tanker accident, please don't go near it. We have also decided that all the accidents, we are picking the video recordings and giving it to the Ghana police to identify the known faces for arrest and prosecution. Because we've seen that in particular communities from Nsawam to Kumasi, anytime it happens within that stretch, there are some gangs who do those operations.
The NPA will soon table before Parliament a bill to amend its 2 decades-old act, and part of the reforms will be to merge the Unified Petroleum Price Fund and the Primary Distribution Margin into a single fund.
Then the boss margin, among others, will go into what is now known as the Infrastructure Fund.
But let me ask that CEO that as soon as the draft is finished, this committee would like to have a first-hand view. We want to do a draft preview if you want to move fast, so that when it's late, we can do even certificate emergency.
All this came up when the Energy Committee paid a working visit to the National Petroleum Authority after similar ones to other power sector agencies to ensure that Ghana is ready for external shocks. Christian Yale, TV3 News.
Some more here, and the chairman of the Church of Pentecost, Apostle Eric Nyameche, has disclosed that rampant illegal mining activities has impacted religious practices of the Pentecost Church. Delivering the State of the Church address at the 48th General Conference of the Church, Apostle Eric Nyameche said that pollution of water bodies is affecting traditional baptism rites in some communities. In other news, supporters of the opposition New Patriotic Party have taken to the streets of Sunyani, calling for justice over what they describe as intimidation and politically motivated arrests. A report by Claude Kumi Abisa in Sunyani.
Supporters walked through the principal street of Sunyani amidst chanting, holding placards and banners demanding justice. Many expressed their outrage over their recent arrests, saying they will resist any intimidation. Deputy Minority Whip and Member of Parliament for Wijagbawe, Jerry Ahmed Shaib, joined the demonstrators. He amplified concerns over the perceived erosion of political freedoms.
Somebody voices out and you want to intimidate the person. You are weaponizing the police, you are weaponizing the judiciary, you are weaponizing almost all state institutions. Today you are here, they will say Yoko has picked you just because you may have gone to say something that you have basis for saying it. They will ask, oh, come and report to the police headquarters because of somebody calling from Jubilee House. What is happening?
Communications officer for Sunyani East, Abubakar Yakubu, popularly called Baba Amando, a victim of a recent arrest, voiced his sentiments.
This is just the beginning. I am in the trial. I am unfazed. I will not be undermined. I will not be intimidated.
The group later presented their petition to the Bono Regional Coordinating Council.
Power is transient, and therefore they should use their power wisely. They should use it reasonably. They should stop abusing. They should stop going after us unnecessarily. They should stop arresting us without any due cause.
Receiving the petition, Deputy Director of the RCC, Priska Adane, assured the petitioners that their petition would be duly submitted.
With some politics, and the national chairman of the governing National Democratic Congress, Johnson Asiedu Nketia, has accused the former Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia of failing to improve the economic situation for Ghanaians whilst the New Patriotic Party was in power. He says the former Vice President wasted 8 years chasing a runaway dollar that the current administration under John Mahama has firmly locked down in just 6 months. My colleague Ibrahim Wangara reports from Jirapa.
Chiefs and party supporters at Jirapa as part of his thank you tour of the Upper West region. National chairman of the NDC, Johnson Asiedu Nketia, said the previous MPP administration failed to stabilize the city. He added that former Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, who headed the economic management team, was unable to achieve currency stability. He contrasted this with what he described as a swift intervention by the current NDC government under John Dramani Mahama.
Everybody says that our government is doing well. They quote the fact that we have been able to arrest the dollar, which Mr. Somebody took 8 years to try to arrest but failed. We just used 6 months to arrest that dollar, and it has never escaped up to now. The previous government used 8 years to try to bring inflation down. We used less than 1 year.
Beyond the economic critique, the NDC chairman spoke about moves to increase the district assembly's common fund allocation.
So we are now planning to increase the amount of common fund that we are bringing from 80% to 90%. So that we can continue dealing with the small issues, 6 classroom blocks, toilets and sanitation facilities, and other things, so that the president would have his peace of mind to think about bigger things.
And that's all for News Morning here on New Day on TV3. My name is Beatrice. Thank you very much for joining us on the program. Do continue with us on New Day.
It was meant to protect them. Now every journey begins with doubt.
Me so afraid. Bon let him Bradford in way. Le lembilete. Ah, me just stand here.
You challenge. Well, what friend I feel? They made it. They didn't believe it. In believe it. I'm not going to 2 months in a back.
Teshi London Bay airs on Wednesday, April 22 on TV3 and all our digital media platforms at 9 p.m.
It was meant to protect them. Now every journey begins with doubt.
domo mia wo lele ke chole ke gbe mefe ka wo te se gbe te na abu wo chole bukangbe
Oh, me sure afraid. Bon let him Bradford in way. Lele mbilete. Ah, me just stand here.
Wa fo na fe e gbe me din je din bile pe anaku lo lo 2 months ni ba ko lo
Teshi Landing Bay airs on Wednesday, April 22 on TV3 and all our digital media platforms at 9 p.m.
It was meant to protect them. Now every journey begins with doubt.
wo lele ke chole ke gbe mefe ka wo te se gbe te na abu wo chole bukangbe
me sure afraid. Bon let him Bradford in way. Lele mbilete. Ah, me just stand here.
Wa fo na fe e gbe me din je din bile pe anaku lo lo 2 months ni ba ko lo
Teshi Landing Bay airs on Wednesday, April 22 on TV.
Okay.
No, I don't. These days, no time
you
for
know
travel.
A lot of corners.
Let me say good morning to Chairman Godwin Tamaklo, Group Chief Executive of the RAID Group. You know, yesterday, Godwin Edudzi Tamaklo, that's the Chief Executive for the MPA, was addressing a parliamentary, gathering or committee or so, and then touched on the subject of the tankers when they fall, how people just trooping, so it made me get a remembrance or reminisce Godwin Tamaklo, who is the group chief for the RAID Group. You know, RAID Group, they are in charge of or do a lot of oil transportation. And safety is their hallmark.
Yes, I mean, it's great that they look forward to reviewing videos during accidents, accidents to deal with those who are involved in criminal stuff during such accidents, because we need to stop this. I mean, we've spoken about this a few times here, but people still go ahead and troop accident scenes regarding fuel tankers.
That's true.
And when there is a fire, as you're aware, many people die and others get injured. So we need to be able to deal with it. If people do not care about their safety, we need to make them care about their safety by making it punitive.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes.
That's true. And particularly for those ones, the concern is how do you make sure that on a stretch which is particularly very unoccupied, and if you're going from Kintampo to Bupe, it's a very lonely stretch.
Okay.
Okay, so if a fuel tanker should, let's say, have an accident or get into a crash, etc., how can you prevent citizens who are in those hamlets or villages from trooping in? So those are some of the perhaps concerns they should take into consideration, and then make sure that when it comes to such emergencies, every institution that's supposed to deal with it is able to deal with it.
I guess we can throw that question for this one
I
segment
think so.
when it's time.
It's quite fascinating. It always reminds me of those who live in the Niger Delta area of Nigeria, who tend to siphon fuel from the pipes, etc., because they tend to have a lot more of inshore oil drilling and subsequently manure. So basically, that's the lesson I learned from that as well.
And last night we watched National Coast documentary.
Now went fishing.
Teshi landing.
Now went fishing. I was watching her in fascination.
Yeah, I understood the statement she made here yesterday that when she got there, they asked her to jump into the sea because they could rescue her, and she considered a few other things and said, nah, I'm not taking this risk. Because when I watched it, they were actually almost in deep sea, right? And I then understood that, okay, at that level, how were you going to really have that level of trust? With people that you didn't know, although you had built. Look at it. I said, I probably would have decided. She was on one of the boats. I probably would have decided or taken the same decision that no, I will not jump for you to rescue me, just to prove that I could be saved when there's an accident like that.
Now has truly shown that she's a true storyteller. And particularly, look how she's pulling like she's in the gym. Wow, fantastic. Nah, Ashoko.
So that's she'll be joining us again today, and it's replaying from 9 a.m. after sports this morning. But I'm sure you've also monitored what's happening to foreign nationals in South Africa, which is something that we'll be looking at on the big issue as well. The xenophobic attacks. I mean, it's quite sad. When the major one happened in 2008, when about 62 people died, we thought that gradually, we're going to start the process of dealing with this. And of course, the South Africans didn't fail us 2015, 2019, and now we're having that again. And I was reading some testimonies of setting in foreign nationals, Somalia and other places. Some of them were actually bent to death. And it's quite sad what's happening. And so we'll be looking at it. Of course, we're already aware that our Foreign Affairs Minister, Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa, has started conversations with his counterpart in South Africa just to try and deal with this. And there was supposed to have been a meeting of diplomatic representatives in South Africa and to, brief them on what's happening and the steps that will be taken to deal with this rising, as it were, or reoccurrence of this xenophobia. So, yes, we'll be looking at that as well as, of course, what we just talked about, National Coast documentary, and the very critical thing which came out of that documentary, that the people are seeing the landing bay as the problem, rather, causing people to die, and some of the harrowing stories that she told. So really, it didn't have to take the deaths of adults and children for us to, you know, decide to take a decision to deal with this problem that the people obviously are unhappy about, and they are afraid of, because of the fact that a number of people are dying from there. So we'll be looking at these things. Yes.
Yeah, a lot of trending issues, including this one.
Yes.
And then also just 2 days ago, the Asantehene Osei, the second, also waded into the subject matter of disputes when it comes to chieftaincy in Sampa.
Yeah.
And you know, it's one of those allied states that pay homage to the Sikega or Asantehene, so to speak, the golden stool, and pinpointed that certain key ministers were part of the unresolved issues when it comes to the Sampa chieftaincy disputes. And so the Asantehene, while in state, raised concerns about that, mentioned the Minister of the Interior, the minister in the region as well, and then the local government minister.
So that's like a name and shame kind of.
And was not also happy with the police commander of the region as well. And I thought that perhaps there has to be some attention to his concerns that have been raised, because you know, issues of chieftaincy and such disputes should be left to those institutions to be able to meddle in and be able to resolve.
Yes.
And looking at his stature, etc., then it also means
that's
that
actually one of the main problems. When you hear conflict experts, they will tell you, particularly in Ghana, that a number of the chieftaincy issues we've had, and you're aware that chieftaincy issues are quite sensitive, and if you don't take care, very hard to deal with. At least we've seen the evidence of that. A number of the time we've seen politicians involved and quote-unquote playing either overt or subtle politics, and so the issues don't get resolved. But it's good that he's naming and shaming. Hopefully, as we go along that path, people will be wary and be conscious of the kind of steps they are taking that really are to the detriment of these communities.
Fantastic. Well, before we go for this morning segment, today's a birthday of the Agbogbomafia of Yasogli State, and Togbi Apada. Happy birthday to you. It's from all your chieftains, including Mama Huo of the Asogli State, who is wishing you, and then also Dr. Elikem Afetogbo, who says that you're just 1 in a million, and happy birthday to you.
Oh, and did you know that today is actually the final funeral rites today of the first Savannah Regional Minister, Adam Salifu Brahima, and of course there's Linda Salaga sending condolences to the family.
Okay.
So it's, it's happening today.
So we're looking at the subject matter of when we have crashes, and then people tend to just troop in around the disaster area, the epicenter, and then try to siphon fuel from those fuel tankers in themselves, and then the concerns that it raises about emergencies, destruction, volatility, and then fatality or burns that could be recorded as a result. So that's what we're talking about next.
And they go to the mining communities to discharge petroleum products to the mine. He loses 1 mate. Because according to the mates, Oyam and Yana is more profitable than being a driver's mate. We are coming out with tanker drivers remuneration framework, whereupon we would ensure standardized payment by way of salary. And we strongly believe that if you pay your drivers well, we'll minimize the incident. When you see a tanker accident, please don't go near it. We have also decided that all the accidents, we are picking the video recordings and giving it to the Ghana police to identify the known faces for arrest and prosecution. Because we've seen that in particular communities from Nsawam to Kumasi, Anytime it happens within that stretch, there are some gangs who do go to the mining communities to discharge petroleum products to the mine. He loses one mate. Because according to the mates, Oyam and Yana is more profitable than being a driver's mate. We are coming out with tanker drivers remuneration framework, whereupon we would ensure standardized payment by way of salary. And we strongly believe that if you pay your drivers well, we'll minimize the incident. When you see a tanker accident, please, 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 please don't go near it. We have also decided that all the accidents, we are picking the video recordings and giving it to the Ghana police to identify the known faces for arrest and prosecution. Because we've seen that in particular communities from Nsawam to Kumasi, anytime it happens within that stretch, there are some gangs who do those operations.
And you just watched the Chief Executive Officer of the National Petroleum Authority, Edudzi Tamaklo, of course, talking about accidents and those taking advantage of it and the need for them to be brought to account and the need for tanker drivers' salaries also to be considered. But yes, we're telling you about this because there is so much danger involved when a number of people troop to accident scenes involving tanker vehicles, and we've seen how people have died and others have been injured as a result of that, and this happening not just once but a number of times. And so we'll be getting your thoughts really on this very or latest directive from the National Petroleum Authority. But ahead of that, we want to give you some data on the accident we've seen and perhaps the deaths or the injuries involved. Roland, you're going to take us through that because we've seen them across the country, really.
Well, certainly.
And what the situation has been with these accidents.
Well, certainly. And you know that the MPA is established and those provisions in that act that was passed in 2005, Act 691, enjoins the authority to also undertake a number of standardization as well as other activities when it comes to downstream. And safety is also very important. All that they do that alongside with other institutions as well to make sure that safety becomes a priority. And I believe that this is part of the interventions that Edudzi Tamaklo, the CEO, also wants to undertake as part of the continuous effort of other CEOs who have occupied the position. And I believe that this being highlighted also brings to the fore the issue about what needs to be done not only by the companies who are in downstream transportation, but more importantly, the responsibility that enjoins citizens to do right by themselves when we have such crashes on the roads. And so you find that in the recent past, or just the recent months, and in this year, we're talking just plainly 2026 alone, you'll find that we've had a number of incidents just in the first quarter. And just to apprise ourselves as to what the statistics are, on the 15th of January, we had a tanker overturning, and that's at Nyangbo, Tafwi, Mado in the Volta region. And then just about 11 days later, another one was recorded at Atabaze Junction on the Elmina Road in the central region. A fuel tanker again overturned, but no tragedy was recorded for the first two. However, the one that happened some 8 days later was when we recorded some fatalities. And so you'll see that the Nsawam-Accra Highway Road experienced this accident. The Eastern region routes specifically, 4 burned to death, several injured after the explosion. And again, you find that for many of those instances, as we also reported as media rightly, but also cited by the Chief Executive for MP Edudzi Tamaklo, you find that citizens tend to troop in, especially those living in the adjoining communities where the incident took place, Beatrice. And that should be a concern for everybody.
Yeah.
Now, particularly when there's an explosion, 4 people are burnt to death, several injured after explosion. The question then is, where are the injuries coming from?
Yeah.
Because for a normal tanker, where you have a head and then a bulk, you'll find that we have a driver and a mate. So at least 2 people who are in that automobile vehicle. Okay, so if we have additional 2 people also burning, where did they come from? And it also means that if we had caution being a hallmark of us as citizens when it comes to safety, we wouldn't troop in when these accidents happen.
Yes.
And so that's what the MPA wants to prevent. The last incident we are citing, we haven't recorded any so far, was in March, 17th of March 2026. Again, this year, the Gomwa Potting Road, we had a fuel tanker exploding. 12 firefighters got injured, and we reported that as well. And so when it comes to the emergencies, the point is what they are transporting is highly inflammable. And if you know by what the dangers are, and then also what you need to undertake as a caution, it also means that you don't have to get closer to those sites when we have the incident. And that should be a concern for everybody. I don't know what our viewers would think when we pose a question to them. What do they think needs to be done?
Yeah.
Would they even troop in? Because you have a full tanker load of, it could be petrol, as we know it, or diesel.
Yes.
And so we want to take the 4 gallons and then go and fetch them.
We've seen people fight over it.
But that is at the detriment of our lives.
Yes.
And so caution should be our watchword. Well, so we'll open the phone lines, won't we?
Indeed,
Beatrice?
and the phone lines are actually activated now. We do have our first caller on the line. Good morning to you, sir. Thank you so much for joining us. Please tell us your name, where you're calling us from.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, I am Thomas Mensamoni calling from Tamale.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much for joining us. Please share your thoughts with us.
Okay. I want to say that probably much education still needs to be done in respect of how maybe people respond whenever there is a tanker accident. And I believe strongly that, grief is also part of it. Because many people are aware of the obvious dangers they expose themselves to whenever they go near such a tanker. At least if not at all, those who are educated, you will see on the tanker boldly written, highly inflammable. The liquid or whatever it is carrying is highly inflammable. So if you will mortgage your life to get that close, then I must say you are very daring and to some extent very stupid. Forgive my language. So I think we should still do more education. People should be educated that their lives are far worse than a gallon of petrol or diesel or whatever liquid they are going to scoop. So that is what I have on this topic. But I must also say that today is my birthday as well.
Oh, happy birthday
to you.
Yes, I share the same birthday with Tobe Afede.
Oh,
okay.
Nice.
What's your name again?
Last time I said onto your program, it was Cookie's birthday.
Boss, relax. What's your name again?
I am Thomas Mensamoni. Thomas
Mensamoni from where?
Yes, from Tamale.
From Tamale. Okay. Happy birthday to you, Thomas Mensamoni.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you.
Enjoy your day. Have a chilled ice water.
Thank you very much.
And so if you take a look at the regulations that routinely are undertaken by the MPA, it's enjoined a lot of the companies or prompted them to undertake a lot of surveillance activities. So, for example, because I'm very close to the rates group through Chairman Godwin Tamaklo, I know that there are surveillance cameras installed in all their tankers. All their tankers. So when the driver is on the road, you will find that in real time, they are able to see in real time, at least. For me, knowing. And they work closely with Puma as well. And so those are the standards that the OMCs as well as the bulk distribution companies have introduced. And so once they are able to see, it also means that at least for some of them like Star Oil, Vivo, which operate Shell, and then also Total, among many others, they have those for their distributors based on standards. Now, if we have those technically, on the part of the transporters, introducing such safety measures to be able to monitor in real time. And as citizens, we don't take the responsibility to guard and then protect ourselves from some of these incidents, it becomes a problem.
Indeed, yes. We do have another caller from Kwabinya here in Accra. Good morning to you. Thank you very much for joining us. Please tell us your name and what's on your mind.
Yeah, my name is Isha from Kwabinya.
The name again?
Isa from Kwabena.
Isa, yes, sir. Please share your thoughts with us.
You're looking beautiful. I'll come and see you from your husband. And by the way,
Thank you.
please. Yeah.
Please go ahead. We can hear you.
Yes, please. We are just failing across board. Road safety, they are failing. Ghana police is failing. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. If you would kindly could kindly turn down the volume on your TV set.
Exactly. It's down.
Okay, please go ahead.
The problem we have in Ghana is that our institutions are failing. They are failing us seriously, and nobody is being punished for that. They are in the land cruisers riding past road safety. People who are failing on road safety regulations, and all they are gone. These tankers, have you done road auditing before to find out why the accidents are at that particular place? They've not done it. And it keeps happening. And nobody will do that. Because land cruisers are passing, accidents there, they go and maneuver, they clear way for them to go. I personally have gone to some of the areas there, and I've stopped and I've blocked a lot of roads. I said, until these tankers are moved, no road goes through. And I was insulted. Look, I'm a road safety expert. So please, road safety, what are they doing? Have they done auditing for that particular place to find out the causes of all the accidents on that particular road? And what are the measures that they're putting through for this is not to occur again? They have no idea. We those who have an idea, they won't let you come nearer because they are chopping big. But that doesn't say because I'm a private man, I do my own thing. But I'm concerned about Ghanaians, innocent Ghanaians who die.
But at least we are having the MPA tell us that now they'll be reviewing footages of accident scenes and punish those who troop to such scenes, particularly involving tankers, to arrest and prosecute them.
Madam.
Yes, sir, go ahead.
They are nowhere near the solution to the problem. What the chief executive has just said is no near to the solution to the problem. And no near. If the one you call me, I go to his office. I give him solutions to that. These guys who live on those roads are desperate. You know, there's hunger in town, no money. So anything they will have to let their hands on it to be able to make money and sell and make money and chop. And then they know that. So me, an angry man, if it comes there, I'll risk to go. If I die, fine. If I don't, and I'm ready to take some of the fuel and go and sell and feed my family, I will do that. And that's exactly what they are doing.
All right.
That's exactly what they are doing. So why not even have every tanker that is moving, you have a policeman on it to follow. And if you go to some of the areas are actually nearer to a police station. It's just a phone call to the police station that we've had an accident here, people are coming, they should come. They will send their people down there to be able to help solve the situation. So me, I say road safety failure, police failure, MTDU failure. It's all about what they will get from an accident. Go on the road. You see a lot of checkpoints, 5, 7 policemen, 5, 7, 8, 10 policemen. And when you reach there, it's not that.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you for your comments as well. We appreciate you for those comments as well.
Thank you so much. Calling us from Parliamentary.
So he's sharing a perspective.
Yes.
So the concern that he also should be taking into his thoughts is about the long stretches. Because just like I cited, if you're from Kintampo, you're going to Bupe, it's a very narrow and unoccupied area.
Yeah.
And so if a tanker falls and those in those villages come out, when is the police going to get there? You know, or the safety officers, etc.
Yeah.
So I think making sure that their actions are punitive, 2, they are educated, is the foremost strategy you have to use. Engagement. You engage them, you educate them, so that they take the rational decisions when we have those incidents.
Even if you want to help, looking at the danger, to what extent can you go with your help? We do have another call on the line. Good morning to you. Okay. Well, as we try to get to him, a number of you have already sent in your messages, and of course, we'll be reading them to you. Let me read this from Mr. Simon Yenwa. Says, good morning, Beatrice and Roland. I think people rush to accident fuel tanker vehicles probably because they are ignorant about the danger involved, and partly is also poverty. So a lot of education is needed with some minimal force. But Beatrice, on a serious note, may I know, okay, okay, let me read this. It says, and that is coming from Fakaki Wa. And he says, regarding LGBTQI plus concerns, the New Patriotic Party lacks more authority to discredit John Mahama. Okay, so that's he's commenting on one of the news items we did this morning about people, you know, criticizing the government over the LGBTQI bill. But we know that it's already back in Parliament, and the Speaker did promise that when the House resumes, it will be looked at so that it will be passed for the President to assent to it. We do have another caller joining us. Good morning. Thank you so much. Please tell us your name, where you're calling us from.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, how are you? My name is Abu calling from Sekendi.
Yes, sir. If you kindly speak up a bit, we can't really hear you.
My name is Abu calling from Sekendi, Western region. Please.
Yes, sir. You're welcome to the show. Please tell us what's on your mind.
Yeah, I have before I contribute your issue, I have a problem with the telecell. If they are listening to me very well, please, their network so very bad. If the management are listening to me, please, they should confront the telecell people to do their listening very well, because sometimes you go to the vendor to take the money out of your list. Now, you find it so difficult, even to make a call. To make a call, please, we are appealing to them, telecell. They should set up and do their listening very well.
All right.
And then let me use the opportunity to greet the greatest regional minister, Joseph Nelson, and then my incoming chairman, the chairman, Olu. He is very doing fantastic in Western region. You know, he is the one always thinking about the grassroots. We need somebody who will think about the grassroots, because the grassroots who brought the party into power. If you be able to neglect the grassroots, my brother, the party is going to collapse. So, Chairman Bolo is a very gentleman who can, even the Western region, make it so great. Then I have one friend here.
Oh, okay. What is your sir? What is your comment on what we are talking about this morning?
Yeah. My comment about this issue is it's about lack of discipline. It's a discipline. See, there's no discipline in our road. You see, so I'm appealing to everybody. It's a discipline. If you have a discipline, everything will be smooth. But you can see, especially those youth that are coming very, those youth. When they are in the sea, the top, everything is okay for them. They'll be driving anyhow. So my opinion to the government has to take bold decisions to punish those people who misconduct themselves. And then let me use the opportunity to greet my great man, First Samuel. Just so wonderful guy.
All right, thank you. I'm sorry, other people are holding on just to get through. So thank you very much for calling in and for sharing your thoughts. And his other concern being the challenge with Telecell network in Sekendi. And so if officials are watching, please attend to them so they're able to make calls, perhaps use their data and enjoy your service. And yes, a number of you, of course, sending us your messages. So let me still read some of them here. This is coming from Mr. Stephen Penn, where it says, good morning, Beatrice and Papa Roll. From your data, the accident of fuel tanks indicates that the community members are desperate to siphon the fuel for retail at the peril of their lives. Intensive education is the way to go, like what TV3 is doing right now. This is coming from Stephen Penwa. Thank you very much. We do have Samuel also calling us. Samuel, good morning to you. Please tell us where you're calling us from.
Yeah, please, my name is Samuel. I'm speaking from Wa.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, please, thank you so much for your good work being doing. Greetings to you and Roland.
Thank you.
And the TV3 crew. Yeah, the issue is that concern about the tanker drivers or the crashes on the road. I think measures need to be put in place so that at least our road should be monitored by the road safety people and moreover the Ghana Police Service. And I remember quite ago, some years ago, Teachman of Ziwenchi, this tanker fell down and then people rushed to go in with their tanks and pouring whatever it is to go and fetch fuel. And at the end of it, it exploded and then many people passed away. And because of that, it's like Ghana, when something happened, we'll just say it 1, 2, 3, and then that is all. Now, that's unless we wait for something to happen again, then we'll start talking about it again. So I think, with all due respect, we should all try and come together, especially the media, and then emphasize and then talk about this thing more, so that it will educate people more about it, and then at least we'll have long life to live. Because all this thing happening, the police will come, the road safety, the not more people will come, and then just 2-3 days, that is all. And then more about the xenophobia in South Africa, I think we have to talk more. I remember this thing happened about 7 years ago, and then they came and spoke about it, and just yesterday or the day before yesterday, same thing is happening. If you have to take the law into our hands, then we also sack all the Zamara people in Ghana and then most of these Nigerians in Ghana. But we don't want it away. We can't take the law into our hands. So with all due respect, let us all try as Africa Union people should come out, and then we'll talk peacefully so that all these things will go. Because we all seeking, we have everything in Ghana, which we can all fight and then survive on. But because our leaders are not helping us, that is why some of the people are waiting for us to travel to overseas to look for jobs. God bless you so much for your good work, and then I like listening to TV3 every morning, and then this is my first time calling, and then I've been able to.
Oh, thank you.
God bless you so much.
Thank you. God bless you too. Samuel calling us from Wa in the Upper West region. We have a lot of people who watch us from Wa, and actually send us messages.
Yeah, I've always been wondering how come. Because I meet a lot of people in Accra who say they try to get through and they don't get through. And then we have a lot of Northern Ghana people that get through Kumas, like the middle belt. They always get. Let me say good morning to a great friend of mine who at one point in time when he was in the Ghana Immigration Service was a PRO, indeed retired as that. And so Assistant Commissioner of Immigration, Michael Amwakwata, retired. Wishing you a blessed day as well. But more importantly, we have a couple of messages. So I'll just quickly read this message from Master Planner Jr. Good morning to you, Zach. Wishing you all the best for the day. He says that kudos to Lawyer Duji and his MPA team for taking bold steps to deal with this issue of fuel tankers. The punishment aspect is very crucial, and they should not entertain any appeals from the elders and then chiefs of the communities if their members are found guilty. Well, you're right, though. And says good morning to Lawyer Henry Nana Boache, incoming MPP National Vice Chairman. Let me read the last one. Andy Edemagla, good morning to you. Says, aside with the caller, the telecell network has been very terrible. Hey, you can't even make your own calls. It depends on, hey, Andy, where?
Which area? He didn't indicate where.
I'm a telecell user, though. So let's see.
There's a message.
Let me see. I don't indict my network.
There's a message from Sherry Giovanni. Says, in as much as I support the suggestion to have the corporate prosecuted, and he's talking about the fuel tanker crashes, I think more education needs to be done. Most citizens do not know that it's a crime to siphon fuel from an accident vehicle. We also need to be educated on the dangers associated with these behaviors. Good morning to Felix Selom Dali. That's coming from Sherry Giovanni. Thank you very much for your message. We do have another caller on the line. Good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us. Please tell us your name, where you're calling us from. Gabriel.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning, Gabriel.
Please, my name is Gabriel Apia, calling from Bolga.
Yes, sir.
I thought you were the player.
No. My contribution is this. The road safety people, it's highly time they should leave their offices and come to the road and do their work. They are not just doing their work at all. They need to leave the offices and come to the roadside and do the work. Action speaks more than words. They need to come to the road. That is what I have.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Gabriel Apia from Bolga in the Upper East region. Thank you very much for calling in and for sharing your thoughts with us. Kwamina Acidity I have for a change. She says, good morning, Beatrice. Majority of tanker drivers take alcohol and smoke. They cause the accident on our roads. Okay, I guess that's something that the authorities will have to look into, because they are able to check with the device whether or not you are intoxicated on the road. So that's something that they will probably have to look at.
Also watching us this morning, the Honorable Jifa Ablan Gomashi, the tourism minister, wishing all the best for the day, and then says that a blessed and happy birthday to Togbi Apede of the Asogli State, the Agbogbo himself, and then also a belated one to his paramount queen, Mamaga Ikuade, who also celebrated hers on the 18th of April. And Zach keeps sending more messages. Zach, okay. And then also Williams Ampoma Dallas says it is important that you are discussing this, because for many of the times when we travel, we see these tankers on the roads, and to imagine that when they have an accident, people will troop in and endanger not only their lives, but also other users of the road is very sad. And so education needs to go into this. William Ampoma Dallas works with the National Identification Authority, currently doing some work around one of those regions in Ghana.
We do have another call on the line. Good morning to you, sir. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Yeah, hello?
Yes, sir, we can hear you. Good morning to you.
Yeah, okay, good morning. Please, my name is Eric. I'm calling from Katamaso, particularly Newland. Yeah, my first message, my first concern is we have been out of water since December, especially the Newland getting to Katamaso area. And anytime that we call, no one is responding to our crisis. So that's my number one issue. The second one is about the road safety. They are not doing their work. That's why those incidents normally happen. I quite remember once I'm coming back from work around Michelle Camp area. There is a particular pothole. The driver is trying to dodge and it's not collide with a motorcycle. So it's not that I realize that most of the accidents are caused by our roads that are not in good condition. Then secondly, prosecuting those who are involved in suffering fuel, I don't think that is their problem. Though that is they will offend some of our laws, but it normally happens. At times when I watch those funny videos, it happens around the continent, Africa, especially Nigeria and some of the places. So I'm pleading for a second. I'm pleading for the our water crisis. If you can hammer on that one for us, I beg. Since December,
and you said which area again? Did you say Ponkatamanso?
Yeah, Ponkatamanso, especially the Newland. We have been out of water to Washington and Zenu that they have, but particularly our area. About since December, we are out of water.
Okay. Wow. Thank you very much for calling in, and hopefully the Ghana Water Company Limited is listening to you. Communities in Punkatamanso need water. We've actually done a story about that. So hopefully, as we aired that story, and you've also called in to express that same concern, the Ghana Water Company gets to see that this is a very urgent and they need to attend to it as soon as possible, so you're able to get this basic commodity.
Okay. This one is coming from a leading clinical psychologist, Notedi. Good morning to you. Says that tanker drivers should have trackers, speed limits or limiters on board trip computers and cameras as mandatory equipment. Auto foam on impact. We also need periodic random substance use checks for drivers. I can say at least for the raid group, they tend to do that constantly to make sure that the drivers are safe and sound when they are behind the wheel. But I guess the MPA also needs to do more so that other transporters need to enforce that. And then the OMCs also will be enforcing that. But I know that at least for the standardized ones, Star Oil, I can speak for the Allied Oil, Puma, Shell, Total Goil, they do that. At least, and then all the others.
But it's also good that they're looking into
they're
also going to look into their salary issues as well, just so
people the concern from the unions are that they are not paid well. But they get a lot of money from Billy.
Which one is Billy? Is it kind of Galamsey on the side of it?
Yeah, so you know when they discharge.
Okay.
You know the way the tank is.
They're able to get that.
Yeah, in Kasin, you want to see
Okay.
Why with the and done? Billy.
All right, thank you very much for sending in your messages and, of course, for calling in as well. But let me remind you that you can always spec up your day the Milky Way with the rich, smooth taste of peck milk shortcake. It is just pure delight. Go to any grocery shop near you, in any supermarket, and you will get the opportunity to have different flavors, chocolate, coconut, as well as any other flavor that you will delightfully enjoy. And you're still here on your day on TV3. When we come back, we'll bring you the biggest shoe, sports, and some more. Don't go away. And you're still here on Newday on TV3. Welcome to The Big Issue. This morning, we're going to look into the latest xenophobic attacks on foreign nationals in South Africa, including Ghanaians. We have already heard the Foreign Affairs Minister in that statement he put on his social media, saying that he had begun conversing, as it were, with his counterpart in South Africa, and on behalf of Ghana has called for a probe into the latest attack. As you're aware, this is not the first. This is happening in South Africa, with the biggest happening in 2008, where about 62 people died. We saw also the looting and attacks on foreign nationals in shops, 2015, 2019, and now we're getting the latest, and we'll be going into that. Will this ever end? What do we need to do to ensure that we deal with these xenophobic attacks on foreign nationals in South Africa who are currently not feeling safe, based on communication from some of the leaders with us? And I do have on the panel with me Hajia Gloria Amenu, National Women's Organizer with the United Party. Good morning to you, ma'am. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
I do have as well with us Madam Grace Akosia Amwabeng, member of the MPP's communications team. It's great to have you back. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning to you.
We'll be joined very shortly by Nanaya Champim Jantua, who is a presidential staffer, as well as Madam Susanna Dramankwa, Executive Secretary, National Interest Movement. Let's watch this video, which has gone viral. The reason that we have had the Foreign Affairs Minister talking about the need to end xenophobic attacks in South Africa. Watch this.
This thing of you guys moving from one country to the other, it's no longer working. We don't want this as African people anymore. We are tired of seeing African migrants moving all over the world, refusing to fix your own countries. Now we're making it very clear to you guys, Utitina, we don't want you here. We want you to fix your countries. Now you came here with a traveling document. You came with a passport. You know that you are a visitor, but now you decided to come and integrate in our communities. You know very well that what you have done is wrong.
How many children do you have here?
We can come to Ghana and do what you're doing.
Passport.
Eh? Now you are carrying a bucket. It's 11 a.m. You were supposed to be fighting the government of Ghana there to ensure that they are getting things right.
No, there's no fight in Ghana. You must fight once a day.
Where's your papers?
Passport.
Passport.
What's the passport?
Take it out.
Baba. Let me see your passport. Let me see. Luna. Okay, tell me, who's the police officer that you are bribing to certify these things for you?
I'm blind.
Baba, let me tell you, I'm not foolish. These things, let me tell you, you know, by law, you're not supposed to certify as an immigrant. You're not allowed to certify your passport.
No.
Okay, why do you certify your passport in a foreign land?
Okay.
Let's just start there. Why do you certify your passport in a foreign land?
It was raining.
I follow you guys now on Facebook. How you?
It was raining.
And as you watch there, of course, the team led by the woman and the man you just watched accosting the man and probing his documents on the streets. And the lady clearly telling him that South Africans don't want African nationals in their country. They should stay in their home countries and build their countries. They don't want them in South Africa. I did say earlier that we've had the Foreign Affairs Minister Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa commentary on this. I'll just read bits of the message he put on his Facebook page. He said, I have this morning held a telephone, that was yesterday, held a telephone conversation with my South African counterpart, His Excellency Ronald Lamola, Minister of International Relations and Cooperation. I called him on the trending videos about Ghanaians coming under extremely disturbing xenophobic attacks in South Africa. And he says the South African Foreign Minister has expressed his empathy with the victims and promised full-scale investigations into the depressing incident. I will just read the last but two paragraphs. He said, let me assure compatriots that the Mahama administration remains uncompromising about the welfare and safety of Ghanaians, both home and abroad. We are determined to guarantee the protection of all citizens. It says, may these regrettable incidents never quench our Pan-African love and solidarity for each other. The overwhelming majority of Africans are united and share an unbreakable bond. We shall not be divided by the hatred of a few fringe elements. Coming from Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa. Perhaps I can get your thought, Madam Akosia Amwabeng, really. on the attacks.
All right. So I think we've come to a point where, as the people in the world, you realize that migration has become a part of us. People have migrated. I mean, it's in the Bible that people moved. Israelites moved to Egypt. We've had all those instances, and even here in Ghana, we've realized that people move from a certain place to relocate in Ghana. I mean, if you look at the Ghans, we have our history tells us that they moved from one place to this country. They moved from Nigeria to Ghana and they settled over here. So if you look at migration, it's part of us as people. And now we always talk about we being a global village where people move from one place to the other. There are reasons why people move. And I would say people move basically because of economic reasons. That's one. People move because of opportunities that they would find in other places that they might not find at where they are currently at. Or people move because of family. They move because of marriage, love. If you should ask me, people also move because of schooling. So if this should come up at this time, I think the South African government should really look at it and see how best we can all work together as African countries. If you'd watch this xenophobic attacks, it has been happening since 1994. You even mentioned in 2008, yes. We had one. It happens, I think it happens almost every time, but then the outbreaks, the most outbreaks comes out when we see people attacking other African countries in South Africa. And I think the reason why they do is because they feel like people are coming into their countries to benefit for their governments, what they have worked for, their resources. People come and take advantage of that, so they do not see the reason why they should come into their country and take advantage of the things that they are supposed to be benefiting. If we should look at it, I think with that, the government, even when you go to the international, like other foreign countries like the US and the UK, it happens. We have South Africans in the US, we have South Africans in Ghana. If you check, we have about 3,500 South Africans in this country. We have a lot of companies being run by the South Africans in Ghana. And some of these companies are, I can mention a few, MTN, APSA, Goldfields. All these people are operating in Ghana and we are patronizing their services. So if you should look at it, these things are already, I mean, we are already having this kind of trading between these two African countries. So it shouldn't be a problem. And I feel like they direct the frustrations to, even if they have to, I think they have to direct their frustrations to the government instead of directing their frustration to the other African countries living in their country. You know why? It doesn't, all the attacks, I mean, it's been happening from 1994 till now. Has there been any solution to any of the problems or any of the things they've been asking for? I mean, we should ask ourselves, everything that they are out there doing, has it solved any problem? If it has solved the problem from 1994, we wouldn't be here still discussing these attacks every now and then, if you should ask me. So instead of them to direct the attacks to their government, they are rather taking it on innocent non-citizens in their country, which isn't fair. So if you'd ask me, I don't think there's going to be an end to this because, like I said from the beginning, migration is a part of us. We are already, people are moving from one place to the other. If you move from, if you take people in South Africa are also in the United States. People in South Africa are in Ghana. We have different people living with us almost every time. So migration is a part of us. We cannot take it out of our living as, I mean, people in the world. So I feel the governments of the South African government should work with the other African countries to see how best they can work this out. And I like the fact that the foreign minister has reached out to the foreign minister in South Africa to see how best our people can be safe at this crucial time. Because it is not worth it putting so much. I mean, now we have free visa to, you can get access to South Africa. Why did they put all these negotiations up if our people are going to go there and experience things like this? Because I don't think everybody is there to stay. people are there to visit. I know people go there to visit almost all the time. So what if I decide to take a visa to South Africa and then I'm attacked because I'm just coming to see your beautiful landmarks and have a vacation and come back, and then you attack me? Are people going to go there? Are people going to move from other countries to the South African country? And also, they should ask themselves this question: do they really need immigrants in their country? If they are supposed to take all the immigrants out, are they going to function well as a country? Is their name also going to still be on the map as South African, like how we know it, if we should take all the immigrants out of their country?
Let me acknowledge the presence of Madam Susan Edramankwa, Executive Secretary, National Interest Movement. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for inviting me.
Let me just ask you a brief question, just for clarity, before I get to the view of other panel members. Do I hear you say that perhaps we're seeing this happening because we probably haven't put in a lot of efforts to deal with it? Because, like you rightly said, we've had this since after apartheid.
Right. I don't think we haven't put in much. If you should ask me, we've put in a lot. I mean, to get to a point where we can get free visas, I mean, you don't have to go through any processes to get a visa to South Africa. I think we've put in a lot. There are 2 countries. Like I said, I mentioned companies that are working. I think I can mention more.
It's all right.
A lot
Just
of
make the
companies
point.
that
Yes.
are already doing very well in this country. It means that we've put in a lot of work to get to this point. It's just that I feel like sometimes when it comes to the political structure, when it comes to immigration politics, sometimes people also ride on the frustration of people in these countries to start something that isn't even there.
Because we've heard South African officials also say that this borders more on criminality rather than it is xenophobic.
So
attacks.
If you should ask me, what is the government? So, every country puts in structures to make sure security people in their countries are safe and all that. I mean, we've had times where we've arrested Nigerians, we've arrested other people in this country who are not even Ghanaians. Okay, what are the security, structures South Africa is putting in place to make sure people do not come to their country to do this? Because there's one thing, you cannot avoid people from coming into your countries. Whilst we have free visas, anybody can just get up, pack their baggages and come to South Africa. Anybody can also, I mean, people are taking visas to go to the US. When you go to the US, we have South Africans, we have Ghanaians, we have other nationalities in all these countries. So you cannot say that you want to take all immigrants out, which is not possible, because right now, like we all said, we're a global village. We are all working together as, people of the world, trying to make something for ourselves and all that. And I told you the reasons why people move. People are studying in South Africa. Others are doing businesses in South Africa. Even in Ghana, we have Lebanese coming all the way from Lebanon to come and do business here. We've lived with them for so many years. Are we going to say that because they have businesses in Ghana and their businesses are thriving, we'll wake up one day and say we are sucking all Lebanese out of this country? No. They are even helping our economy, if you should ask me. So we should bridge it where, what they offer us Ghanaians, we would take advantage of it and also help them in a way. We help each other hand in hand.
Hand in hand. Haja Miriam, your thoughts?
All right. A very good morning to all our listeners. Good morning to Afafanto ladies. And today, if I don't greet the Ghana Association of Beauticians, who are always watching us in their various salons, they will beat me up. So a very good morning to them. And we encourage them to keep watching TV3. This is very interesting. And I was surprised when I saw the video. When we are always talking about unity, African Union has been in existence for a long time, and South Africa is one of the countries who have most benefited from African Union and their policies. And if you see in the past, all countries, African countries, came together to support South Africa immensely. So they have to even be grateful to other African countries for supporting them, forever grateful, for supporting them during their times of need. Ghanaians were there, Nigerians were there, everybody was there to give them the support they needed. people came out to the streets to back them. So if Ghanaians are going there, Nigerians are there, it's all because of United Africa. We want free borders, we want intertrade, and these summits have been going on, conferences have been going on so many years. So it's high time they stop attacking innocent people who they need them. Every country, even in Ghana, people are here working, but if they go to other countries, they put in their all. It's the same everywhere. If Ghanaians move to South Africa, they put in their all and work hard to make ends meet. If we also move to South Africa, they also come here. They also open businesses. Nobody is attacking them in Ghana. There are so many South African businessmen in Ghana here, and they are doing so well. There are so many Ghanaian companies who are also there, and they are doing so well. So I will entreat the African Union ECOSOC. Greetings to Mr. Lawrence, who is the president of African Union ECOSOC. We will entreat them that all these policies that are in their books, we are always reading them out. They should be enforced. You know, I always talk about action rather than words. So we are entreating them. These policies are already there. We are always attending summits to make sure that there is free trade between African countries. But we want enforcement. We want to see the laws being enforced. Then they should make sure that the African free trade laws should be should be voiced out. People have to know the laws that exist between African trade, so that we cannot be always arguing between ourselves. We wouldn't have incidences like this. So we are pleading, and with Ghanaians who are out there today in South Africa, they should just stay indoors and protect themselves. If you have ways of coming back, you wouldn't have to abandon your business to come back, but you just stay safe. Yes.
I mean, we've agreed here that, and data shows that this is not the first time this is happening. It keeps happening. What do you think has been the problem, which is why we keep seeing this? What are we not doing right, in your opinion?
It's just the enforcement of the laws, just like I said. Africans are asking for unity, but are we ready to be united? Because if we are always advocating for unity, there are so many foundations, organizations, NGOs who are always fighting for unity. Is this the unity we are talking about? Is this the unity we want to see? We are all blacks. You could see there is no even color differences. If you don't ask me for documents, you wouldn't know I'm a Ghanaian, because we all share common languages. People just go and they learn languages of each other. So if you don't even ask for documentations and others, you wouldn't even know the difference between who, if the person is a Ghanaian or a Nigerian, or so maybe the accent of the person will identify. So if we are talking about unity, yes, we shouldn't just preach unity, but we should act that we are united as one. Yes. So I think that if we are preaching unity, then we should act what we are preaching.
We should act what we are preaching. Madam Susanna Dramankwa.
Well, I mean, let's get this first out of the way. That is not all South Africans who behave that way. Like the minister said, it's some fringe groups, but it is, usually xenophobia is a proxy for anger at the state. Youth unemployment is high, poor housing, persistent inequality, especially in their case. I mean, but you see, of course, they do not bring their anger against their fellow white South Africans, but you can see the gaps in the social strata between the blacks and the whites. And so, foreigners become easy prey. And it's not all foreigners, because I was listening to say, those who have shops in the malls and in the big places are not attacked. It is those who are vulnerable in terms of being the street vendors and those who have shops, the mini grocery shops in the communities. They are vulnerable, you understand, and they are easy to attack. And so they go and they attack these people because it is perceived that they are out in the cold and these people are sleeping in warm beds. You get it, and they have taken something away from them. But it really is an anger directed towards a government who is not doing enough to bring them up out of their poverty. And so they take it out there. And of course, there's also the political opportunism by groups like Operation Dudula. You understand? They feed off the vulnerability of the people, or they feed off the frustration of the people, or they feed off the scarcity mindset of the people to raise themselves up there, and then they will make statements like this. But the thing about it is that people do these attacks and they are not punished enough. You understand? I mean, there haven't been enough prosecutions, enough jail terms. And so, of course, impunity, like anything else. I mean, you see impunity in Ghana here. People use the shoulder, nobody punishes them. Now the shoulder becomes part of the road, and we continue to do that. And so, because the government hasn't taken a stronghold in punishing people who have gone ahead to attack other foreigners, then, they think that, well, they can do that. So they get frustrated. And these are, yes, they are waves, because people get frustrated in these waves also when unemployment becomes high, and then they say that, okay, somebody has taken my job away from me. But the people are there and are working hard. They are competitive. And we even see that kind of xenophobia, traces of it in Ghana here, when some of the traders go and say the Nigerian traders. Yes. But look, the fact of the matter is, sometimes when you go into the market, the Ghanaian traders take you for granted. You are asking somebody and she's painting her nails. I've had that experience before. Gone to a shop, she was painting her nails. Me and my work colleague wanted to buy some medical equipment. We just walked off. We asked her a couple of things. Can we, this. Yeah. We went to the very next shop, which was owned by a Nigerian. He sat us down. Oh, ma'am, sit down. Can I bring you some water? He brought us water. He says, oh, can you bring us some malt? We're like, oh, he told us. He said, no, it's not a big deal. Brought us a drink. And then says, can I see your list? How can I help you? Immediately, we relaxed. We could have gone on to the other shops. We didn't. We gave him our list. What he didn't have, he went to procure from another shop and bought. We ended up purchasing everything from that shop, only because the attitude in the next shop, even though it was owned by a Ghanaian, was so bad. And so you have these foreigners going to these places and being competitive, because people then take their own fellow citizens for granted. And these foreigners, they went there with a purpose. The purpose was to make money and to take it back home for a better life. So they go out of their way to be more pleasant and more competitive. We don't find that, you don't find that with the citizens treating their own people. You get it. So these are some of the things that, increase in terms of the xenophobic attacks. I think governments, and it's not just South African governments, because I just gave the Ghanaian example, we need to look at this seriously. We don't want our citizens to portray themselves in a bad light. Like Gloria said, these South Africans, they don't know their history. I mean, in fact, even in Ghana here, we don't know that history, that Nkrumah spent our money, training these people, picking them, sending them to schools, the Achimotas and the things like that, having camps here where they were taught political theory, where they were trained to be guerrillas, you understand, and go out there and fight for freedom. We spent our money on them. We always say that Nkrumah was a better African than a better Ghanaian, because he spent our money looking for Africa as a whole, that everybody's got independence. Look, in the period that Nkrumah was there, from the time that we got independence till the time that he was deposed, how many African countries got independence? I mean, Tens. You understand? Between 57 and 1960, tens of African countries received independence, and Ghana had a hand in all those things. But we don't know this history, even ourselves here in Ghana. How much less a South African who is not well educated? They would hardly know that kind of history, you understand. And so for them, at this moment, it's about what is happening presently, my stomach at this moment, my frustrations at this moment. I don't have good housing. I don't have the kind of education that will give me the jobs that will pay me well. You know, I'm unemployed. By all means, you would have these xenophobic attacks. So we are, as a people, must one, encourage our governments to turn their eyes towards some of these things, especially when we get even Guta, you know, saying some of the things that they are saying. What are the things that we can make our citizens so comfortable, so having so much of a share in the national cake, such that they don't have a scarcity mindset and take it out on vulnerable foreigners, you know, because we will take it out on vulnerable foreigners if we don't feel satisfied with what we are getting.
Indeed. Now, if you look at data, 2010 data shows that immigrants, particularly African immigrants, contributed about 9% to the GDP of South Africa, and that's in 2010. And beyond that, of course, they continue to create jobs, even for the native-born South Africans. What will it take, really, for the governments of these foreign countries to hold the government of South Africa for what is happening to their citizens in their country?
I mean, I think that maybe too much of African Union presidents things it's like a slap on the wrist for when these things happen. We should maybe take more how would I put it, severe reprimands to governments that make their citizens allow their citizens to do that. And we need to speak out more about these things, but we also need to teach more about these things. I think that we don't go to the root of the problem and always have surface sort of solutions, but we need to do proper root cause analysis, and help each other. Not just like South Africa. Yes, we remind them strongly. I think all the African countries should call their ambassadors to back, and take a very strong stand that too much of this is going on, and you need, as a South African government, to look at it. Look, sending every immigrant out of South Africa will not solve the problem if there's still poor housing, if there's still unemployment, high employment. They will turn on each other. You get it? So we need to do a proper root cause analysis. But like I said, we need to help each other with our history. If you don't know where you came from, and you don't know the things that were done in the past, you will act like this. And it's not just for us as Ghana. We can start here in Ghana. African Union should take up a project where we are learning the history of who we are as Africans and where we have been and what we have done. Because many of us do not know that. You understand? We need to look at our education. One of the things we need, we as a people, look at our education, get the proper history out. You understand? Understand where we have been as a people, what we were robbed of. We like the reparations thing. Maybe the reparations thing is not giving us money, but maybe having an opportunity for us to learn where we came from. We speak our own history and stuff like that. And we ask other African Union countries to do that. Maybe South Africa needs to do that for them to know where they are coming from and who has helped them to be where they are
now.
So
beyond education, I hear you say that perhaps one of the strongest stands the foreign countries could take on the government of South Africa is recalling the ambassadors.
Yeah.
To let them know that we don't think that you're taking strong actions enough against your citizens who are perpetrating this.
I mean, after they make sure that their citizens are safe. Don't bring the ambassadors and make sure that their citizens are not safe. You understand? But it may be a symbolic gesture. You understand? But we need to show more. How would I put it? Opprobrium, or if that is the word to use, against such behaviors. You get it. And not the slap in the wrist sort of thing that we've been doing over the years. I think that the South African government needs to be sternly reprimanded by their fellow African governments or presidents, etc. And then we help. We need to help. We should not just say, you do it. Because what is our goal is a united Africa. Our goal is for us to stand as a unitary, continent, not the fragmented 54 states. And South Africa is part of it. So we need to find ways and means of helping them and helping each other.
Indeed. Let me acknowledge the presence of Nanaya Champim-Jantua, Presidential Staffer. Nanaya, good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning, my dear.
Let me, you wanted to...
Yes, I just wanted to add something. And this is on the lighter note. She was talking about competition, like how, people go to other countries and then the citizens see the competition between them and then the other people. I feel like if...
No. I said they give competitive service.
Yes, right.
So,
yes, I side with you on that because if I'm leaving my country to go to another country, right, to make a living, to grow my business, there's no way I will be sleeping maybe at 8 a.m. Maybe the one who is living in the country will be sleeping at that time. But because I am there for a reason, I'm there for a purpose, not to just come into the country and then just live there like you, who as a citizen is living there. So I am coming there for a reason. So it makes that's where the competition comes in, because I need to make something before I leave my country. So I think that it's best for them to understand that anytime somebody is in another country, the person goes there for a reason. The person is going there for schooling, for business, and I wouldn't want to fail and come back with nothing. So that's what I wanted to add to her submission.
All right. So I want to come to you, Nanaya, really beyond... Okay, so then I'll come back to you. But Hajia Amenu, what more can we do beyond the talks? We've heard Madam Susanna Dramankwa asking for, one of the things she's asking for is for example, countries whose citizens are being attacked to recall the ambassadors. For you, what more action do we need to take beyond the talks?
Okay, so just like she said, education is also key. And then I said enforcing the laws about the free trade. We have to know that there are rules, regulations that have been set down long for years by African Union, and they are sitting down in books. Lots of us don't know about these laws. Lots of us don't know about what is really going on when it comes to United Nations or African Union and the rules and regulations that have to govern. If you see this gentleman who was in the video, who was being questioned, you could see that he was even fumbling to answer some of the questions. He didn't know anything about the questions they were asking him, and they were throwing it here and there, and he didn't even know how to even answer. So I think it's a step that we take when you want to travel outside your own country. You would want to go and achieve and come back. So just like my sister is saying, everybody wants to bring results back home. So they put in their all. If you see Nigerians in Ghana and you see the way they sell hard. They will convince you to buy the whole thing, even if you are not ready to buy. If you see Lebanese in Ghana here working, we open businesses across all the countries, almost all the African countries. So if you see them, they deliver. So if you are going somewhere, at least you should know the laws that govern the state you are going or the country you are going. And there has to be measures to be taken in place to educate just like the Hajj board is doing. Before the pilgrims go to Saudi Arabia, we educate every pilgrim on what you must do and what you don't have to do, where you have to go and where you don't have to go. So it has to be a form of education for people who want to go and work elsewhere, other countries, so that if they go, they will not be found wanting when they are asked a few immigration questions here and there.
All right, Nanaya, what have you got to say? Because really, this keeps happening, and then we talk about it, things calm down, and we see it again. Beyond the talks, we've heard the Foreign Affairs Minister Samuel Kudjeto talk about it, and the fact that the South African government is going to investigate this based on the assurance he got. But really, the argument is that we need to see action to prove that really the government is ready to deal with this head-on.
Beatrice, thank you very much. Good morning to everybody. Forgive me for being late. I've been in some hectic situation this morning. You see, I don't know why we are talking about government and AU and all. This is a very systemic problem that is endemic in the South African society. Beatrice, do you know that when you get to, I got to Midrand, and when I got to Midrand, the hotel I was going to sleep in, the person taking my bag told his colleague that the Black Africans are here.
The what?
The Black Africans are here.
What does that mean?
They said the Black Africans are here. Okay. We went in a team, and they said the Black Africans are here. So, within themselves, they don't even see themselves as Black Africans. So we talk about AU, all these protocols, it does not affect them. I heard my sister Susan talking about what Kwame Nkrumah did for them. That was 70 years ago. Those who are there today, Thabo Mbeki is dead, Walter Sisulu is dead, Nelson Mandela is dead. Do you get me? The freedom fighters are dead. And they didn't leave any history to say that Kwame Nkrumah, they call him Kwame Nkrumah. Kwame Nkrumah helped them. In their mind's eye, the last of them is also dead. And what is it? My heroine, Mandela, the woman, I've forgotten her name. She's also heroine, and you've forgotten because now I forget things. do you get me? So she's also gone. Most of them are gone.
That's why we have history.
I think the youngest one is the president. At that time, he was about the youngest. He's the only one about left. Do you understand me? So they don't know that history. Even our own Ghana, how many people know what Kwame Nkrumah did? Otherwise, the CPP will not be in the shape it is today. Do you understand? Because when you link the CPP to Kwame Nkrumah with that kind of a brand, you should have seen that it would have propelled the CPP to somewhere. But today, the youth, when you talk about Kwame Nkrumah, they know Nkrumah, they don't even know anything about even what independence is, bread and butter. So, it is something that has to be dealt with. Xenophobia, I don't see why, when it comes, we always talk about the South African one. Xenophobia even exists in a Brexit. There's a form of xenophobia. Do you get me? You see how Britain decided to exit the EU. It is a form of xenophobia, not because of it, they said economic burden, but it is not. Because when they see all those foreigners from Siberia, from Lithuania, all these people in their country, they find it difficult to exist with them. Solution, what do we do? I think there should be a gradual process of making the youth, the young ones in South Africa, know that we are not their enemies. There should be a plan, a systemic plan with the presidents. Because you see, when you go to South Africa, it is like you are in some European country. Unless you go to Soweto and the projects downtown, that's where then you see that maybe you are in Africa. It's like you're in Europe. So for them, now they're educated, they live in Cape Town, they live in Durban, they live in all the big cities, they don't see themselves as Africans. So you African, when you come in their midst, they think that you are come to take their jobs. But the point is also that the jobs that we do in South Africa, they cannot do it.
Which is?
We braid hair. Do you get me? We braid hair is a skill. Most of them have salons. Even the men, they have salons, they braid hair, they do all manner of things. Most of the black people there are mostly housekeepers. The non-educated ones. They are still housekeepers in the houses of the white people. So innately they think that, and they're also afraid we should also, you see, when South Africa came out of apartheid, nobody really took the time to deal with their heads. I was talking about Winnie Mandela.
Yes.
Nobody, then you didn't mention it.
Because there are three of them.
Know.
There's Winnie and the others.
No, it's only Winnie. Nobody really took their time, do you get me, to conscientize them, to take them out of whatever they went through. It was traumatic. We were not there, but we saw videos of Winnie leading the men, Winnie being accused of killing. I mean, there were times that you have to do certain things to save yourself. So these were very traumatic, but we just took it for granted. And Nelson Mandela said peace and reconciliation. That pain and fear is still there. So when they see Africans or foreigners in a certain kind of way coming in, then they become afraid. Because then they goes back to, are they going to take over? Because remember, the black Africans who are in South Africa, they are not economically strong. They are not financially strong. They don't have lands. They still don't have lands. They are still poor. The migration from freedom, political freedom to economic freedom has not been achieved. So they are afraid. So when they see that other countries are coming to work and be financially strong, they become afraid. So the government itself should put in place a system, something like a civic education platform, to be able to educate them that anybody who comes into your country is not an enemy. Because you see, anytime they see an enemy, it's you, like you, a human being, seeing a fly, or you see a mosquito. You know when a mosquito bites, you get malaria, so you do everything to hit it. So that is what is happening to them. And the migration was not done properly. I always said that the migration was not done properly because to make them feel okay, some of the land should have been taken from the whites and given to them to manage. Do you get me? They should have been upon a certain part of economic transformation within the black caucus itself. But it wasn't done. And still you have the white people living in posh areas. When you go to Cape Town, on the hills, when you enter that place, they call the Elephant Mountain. When you go there, you find so many beautiful houses of the white people. And the blacks are still hewers of wood and drawers of water.
Konja Solomon on Facebook says they don't see themselves as black people.
Yes.
And there's also a message, okay, a number of you sending, I beg your pardon, sending us your messages. But really the question I wanted to ask you, just for us to end this, and then we'll go to the Teshi Landing Bay, is how do we hold the government of South Africa accountable, but at the same time ensuring unity, like Madam Susan Edwa-Mankar said earlier, that really the purpose is African unity?
You see, one, they don't see themselves as Africans. Two, you cannot hold the government accountable because what is happening, it is not orchestrated by the government. It is orchestrated by the citizens. You see, there's this saying in leadership. I learned in my leadership master class that leadership is cause. Every other thing is the effect of leadership, of course. But in the dynamics of governance, there is also the follower. The follower also plays a key role in some of the things that happens in governance. So what the government should do is that they should I think they should be more proactive about the matter because it has happened severally and it is not good for the image of South Africa. So as I said, there should be some conscientization to tell. If you tell them that Nkrumah helped them, they don't care. But you should let them understand that they cannot exist in a vacuum. They should be made to understand that what happened to them will never happen again. It's gone forever. And the whole world will make sure it will not happen again. There should be a process to make them be economically and financially strong. They should grow leaders, business leaders, for them to also own lands. So that at the end of the day, the people would then understand that these people are not here to take over our economic wealth, but they are here to help us grow the economy of South Africa that will also benefit them.
There's a message from one of our viewers. She didn't add your name, but it says, very barbaric act from the South Africans, very shameful act. There's a message from Master Planner Junior. Said the South Africans see themselves as white people, yes, and therefore behaving as if they are not Africans. They shouldn't let their color deceive them. We're all Africans and they cannot do anything about it. This is also a call to our leaders. We have to work tirelessly to create jobs for our people. I don't see what South Africa has that Ghana doesn't have, whereby a majority of our citizens have to travel there in search of a job. It is so sad. Condolences to all those who have lost their lives and loved ones. And there's a message also coming in from Prince Henry Koforidua saying, has the President of South Africa made a statement to address the various nations whose citizens were attacked in his country, and what were the underlying issues? A number of you sending us your messages. Let me just read this and then I will come to our other issue. Okay, this is coming from Alfred Onuma. Says, good morning, Beatrice, and hope you're doing great by grace. Great discussions and good job. Greetings to Mrs. Edwa Mankwa, and please tell her my wife Victoria Menso Onuma sends her greetings. All right, thank you very much. And one other issue that actually...
Can you give me a minute? You see, the people who are there are illegal. And even it's possible their own countries don't know that they are there. I just said something that when you are leaving a country, you should be told what to expect. But when they are leaving, they don't tell anybody they are going. They go as illegal immigrants. They are not recorded anywhere. Nobody knows where they are. So I think the time has come for countries to maybe have a bureau that whether you are going as an illegal immigrant or a legal one, you should be able to go to this bureau and register that I'm going to this country, ABCD. But I also agree that it is time for us to stay in our nation and create wealth and job for the young ones to stay.
Yes, just a second, because we need to go to what's happening in Teshi.
Yes. Just some quick reactions to what Nanaya said. Nanaya, there was the Truth Commission. You know, Desmond Tutu, they tried to do that, and I'm sure there are still bodies there that are trying to reconcile the horrors that they went through. So it wasn't as if Mandela came and everything was forgotten, because they had the Truth Commission by Desmond Tutu. But you see, let me finish. But when you say that it's not the government's fault, it is the government's fault. Why? Because anybody who is on your land, their safety and their security is your responsibility. So anything that happens to them, even from a fringe group, it is your fault, because you are supposed to, that is the oath governments take, to protect the people living on their land, irrespective of where they come from, irrespective of whether they are legal or illegal. Otherwise, you say that, okay, because they are illegal, they are less of human beings. They are not. You understand? But if you make a blanket statement that the people living there are illegal, that may not necessarily be true. You understand? There are people there who are legal, who will face these things. So let's not bunch them up and make blanket statements. Somebody too said the majority of Ghanaians are there. Majority of Ghanaians live in Ghana. The majority of Ghanaians are not in South Africa. I think sometimes...
Don't react to what you didn't hear.
I heard you. Everybody heard you. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry. Yes. But if I'm wrong, I'm sorry. But people heard you when you said that. Let's not blame government.
I'll give you this.
You understand? Yes. You understand? Because we heard you. You made some good points when you say that what do you call it? We have to learn. People have to learn. People have to be taught. They have to give them the kind of education that allows them to access the better jobs, etc. And I agree with you. But when you make certain blanket statements, it sticks in people's thing. And I just wanted us to ensure that we don't make these blanket statements and say that they are illegal. Because as soon as we say things like that, that means they are illegal. So it's okay for them to be attacked. But it is not.
And I pick it. You know, when I was talking, I said some of these things are politically motivated. Because sometimes, you know, when there's an election coming up and they see people are frustrated, even if, like, I know there are outbreaks.
Well, we've already heard the South African government
so,
say
you know,
people take advantage of
exactly.
this.
So we cannot blame the government. We cannot say we will not blame the government for some of these happenings.
That I said that when I said illegal, I said it in the context that some of these people cannot even. You said that
when they are traveling out of the country, and so we do not even have records of them.
Yes, and some of these people are illegal, and it is true, and we don't have records of where they are. Number two, truth and reconciliation. After you have done the process, you need to go further to find out what actually these people need to heal. It is not by just coming to say that, oh, A, B, C, D. Look, if somebody is raped in a situation of conflict, you can say that we should have a truth and reconciliation. But that person, the pain of that rape still stays with the person for years. Do you get me? So you go further to find out what, after truth and reconciliation, after sitting down to talk, what am I going to do to ensure that the pain that the person is going through has been dealt with? The kind of the gravity of pain that they went through, it is not just by talking that will heal it. There are other things that they expect if you interact with the South Africans. Now, these young ones are different, but the older ones, those days when you interacted with them, they wanted certain things to be done that some of them were even angry with the way that the whites were left. And they always, Mugabe, they always adulated Mugabe. That for Mugabe, they called him Papa. Because for them, he was able to deal with their enemies. Do you get me? They have that pain in them.
Let me read this message from Money on Facebook. He says, Beatrice, even if everything was going on well in Ghana, people will still travel to other countries. And that's the point he makes. Let me get the 30-second final word of you. We are able to look at the other one.
Apart from Kwame Nkrumah, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, who invested so much in South Africa, leader Alan Shermantin was also there to help in their trade. And I don't know, yes. So what I'm trying to say is they still have, if I'm going to this state saying that they still have to put in so much.
Allow her to make a 30 seconds.
They still have to put in so much when it comes to entrepreneurial skills that they, just like Nana was saying, they don't really like doing skillful jobs that are for carpenters, masonry, craft, and all that. So they should just bring back the entrepreneurial skills that they were taught and put it into great use. Yes.
Perhaps, Nana, I wanted to respond. 30 seconds.
Which one is it?
Your final word. Yes.
Oh, right.
So, said something.
But anyway, I've said something, but I would want to say that, I mean, we are together as, countries, a big world. We are all trying to work together as one to see we all grow in our own small ways in our different countries. So I think if any citizen is listening to me, we should all work together as one and try and accommodate each other and see how best we can grow our countries as one.
As one.
Wait for the conflict to happen.
Do you?
I thought you said you were done.
No, what you said. Do you remember when Brexit happened in the UK?
Yes. A woman was even killed. One of the politicians was killed in the UK.
I am telling you, when Brexit happened, it was like some liberation. They didn't want to have anything to do with all those people. You see, every country should manage xenophobia.
Every country should manage xenophobia. Stephen Penwa.
To get there. You understand? For the social tensions to get there. Because the social tensions, they happen in the market.
So if you deal with the challenges in your country, then you will not get there. Stephen Penwa says, please, Beatrice, convey my condolences to Nanaya and her family for the loss of their sister. She should read my morning messages, please. So on the issue of the attack on Ghanaians in South Africa, we must condemn in no uncertain terms. And if nothing is done by the government, we may have to recall our High Commissioner. And that's coming from Stephen Penn in Wa. And this is coming from Sherry Giovanni, says, xenophobic attacks in South Africa. The reason the South Africans do not respect other Africans date back to the era of the Cold War. The rest of the Africans supported socialism whilst they supported capitalism. Musa Abatwa in Aswansi says, Beatrice, South Africa should be the last place to entertain xenophobia, given the immense solidarity it received from fellow Africans during the struggle against apartheid. Countries across the continent stood firmly behind them, and leaders like Kwame Nkrumah played a significant role in supporting their liberation effort. It is therefore deeply concerning that migrants now face hostility. The primary responsibility lies with the government, which must be held accountable for failing to adequately protect foreign nationals and uphold the values of unity and African solidarity. I want to say a very big thank you. Our time is actually up.
I understand that the other African men are so pleasing to the South African women. They treat them gently, they treat them nice. They have good sexual prowess, and that is also a resentment.
Madam Executive Secretary of the National Interest Movement. Also to you, Madam Grace Akosia Mwabeng, a member of the NPP's communications team. Thank you for joining us. Of course, as well to you, Haja Gloria Amenu, National Women's Organizer, United Party, and to you, Nanaya Achempim Gentwa, presidential staffer. My name is Beatrice Sedu. Thank you very much for joining us on The Big Issue. Remember that The Big Issue is sponsored by the University of Gold Coast. Whether you're aiming for a specialist MBA in marketing, communication, operations, supply chain, human resource management, finance, entrepreneurship, innovation, or business intelligence analytics, or you just want to advance through a dual MBA or Chartered Manager MBA, University of Gold Coast gives you options that match your vision. And if your next step is an MSc in International Relations, Communication, International Marketing, International Law, Security Diplomacy, Accounting, Finance, or Human Resource Management, an LLM in International Law, Security Diplomacy, or an MA in Biblical Studies, Practical Theology, the pathway is open. April admission is now open. Apply today, because at University of Gold Coast, we make a practical, flexible learning, flexible entry, and flexible payment. Study around your work and life. Choose a route that fits your background and pay in convenient installment. Your dream deserves structure. Your future deserves strategy. Your purpose deserves training. Apply now, www.ugc.edu.gh. Call or WhatsApp on 026 388 8555. University of Gold Coast, building leaders for the nations. My name is Beatrice Sedu. Stay with us. When we come back, we'll bring you the latest in sports and some more.
How may I help you today?
We'd like to open a bank account.
Sign here, sign here, sign here, and here. And now you draw direction to your house. I need your thumbprint. And I'll need your birth certificate too. No, I need the original.
A lot has changed since you banked like this. So have we. We've made it easier than ever to open an account online and bank on the go through our mobile app, online banking, and more. EcoBank, a better way to bank your way.
Sign here, and here.
EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank.
you need a bigger space to grow your business.
You need to be ready for any season.
You need faster checkouts for these busy days.
You need more equipment to meet demand.
You need to make sure everyone gets paid on time.
In business, you need advice, solutions, and sector expertise when it matters.
Your new office space looks great. What's next?
We get it. Absa Business Banking.
Big Crystal Original. Get a pen you can rely on.
When malaria strikes your home, it strikes everything. No more endless worry because of malaria. Fight malaria back with Vegetem. Vegetem is effective, safe, and fast-acting against malaria. Vegetem tablets stays effective right to the very last tablets. Vegetem is also available in suspension for children. Vegetem, tough on malaria, easy on you.
Welcome to Max Buy. You're welcome to Max Buy, Ghana's #1 electronic retail store with brands like Tecno, Itel, Infinix, iPhone, Oraimo, and Synix. We have over 40 shops nationwide, a convenient payment plan, online shopping, and home delivery. How may I help you?
You know, my queen deserves the best. Show me your top gadget here.
At Max Buy, we've got it all. Mobile phones, smart TVs, air conditioners, kettles, microwaves, blenders, and more. With over 40 shops nationwide, flexible payment plan, online shopping, and home delivery.
Welcome to Max Buy. Welcome to Max Buy.
18 powerful Jama groups selected across Ghana will battle it out in a thrilling reality show that celebrates unity, culture, and the unstoppable energy of Jama music. This is 5-Star Energy Jama Masters. It's more than a competition. It's a movement to revive Jama, showcase our arts, and promote Ghana's rich tourism and culture to the world. To participate in 5-Star Energy Jama Masters, send a 5-minute Jama video performance of your group to the WhatsApp number 0243 721148. 5-Star Energy Jama Masters. This is brought to you by Brain Consult and powered by the unstoppable energy of 5-Star Energy Drink. 5-Star Energy Jama Masters. Live the culture. 5-Star Energy Jama Masters. Coming soon on TV3.
After weeks of fun, laughter, and amazing performances, 5 incredible stars have made it to the grand finale of Talenta Season 17. Queen Dessa, the little queen with the golden voice that melts hearts every time she sings.
Now that I escape, sleep, walk her away. Those who can relate.
DJ Zim, the young master of the turntables, bringing beats that make everyone move and groove.
How many times did they write to me?
Alicia, a powerful young voice using beautiful words to tell stories that touch our hearts.
The flash of mighty, the swing in my waist.
Ino the poet, bold, confident, and full of wisdom, speaking truth and inspiration beyond these years.
But I still feel the weight of her absence.
Jasper Blue, full of energy and magic, lighten up the stage with jaw-dropping dance moves. These amazing kids have given it their all, and now it comes down to one unforgettable night. Join us at the National Theatre on April 26th at 3 p.m. Tickets are just 50 Ghana cedis, available at the TV3 premises. You can also vote by dialing *713*13# or download the MG Reality app to vote.
Talented Kids Season 17. Powered by Indomie. Tastes great.
Sponsored by Flora Tissues, Top Choco,
Gino Jollof Mix,
Didi Shito,
Fratelli Calipo,
Nero Prime Water,
Coco Plus, CTIW Foundation,
Cal Kids Toothpaste.
Bold defend for Ghana.
No.
Bold to defend.
Not a new face at all when it comes to the world of marketing communications. And then, of course, we have lawyer Nine Nkumsa Sapong. I hope I pronounced your name well. You did well. I did okay.
Yes.
And Nine is the head of Registrar Services and Wealth Management at UMB. And your Legacy Care Plus, I know you're having a launch tomorrow, right?
Yes. So we're
Clearly,
launching tomorrow.
What is it about?
In fact, we have had our internal launch.
Okay.
And I would say that our team members are interacting with the product, and it's really going very well. We're ready to open it up to the world.
Okay.
Right. The Legacy Care Plus service is an e-will service. I'm going to ask Nina to talk about the details because, I mean, she's the baby. When you see Legacy Care Plus, you see Nina.
I tell you, you don't want to put the cart before the horse.
No. In fact, I don't want to bother myself.
I know, right?
So she will talk about it, and then I will come back to tell you all about the launch, where you can access it, and a few other beautiful things that are happening at UMB. So, Nina.
The ball is in your court. But at the end of the day, when we're talking about UMB Legacy Care Plus, the way the branding has been done, the activation, what should be the top of the mind awareness for us?
That is planning your estate in a very simple, private and convenient way. Legacy Care Plus by itself is a solution that we have for estate planning, and it combines technology with human touch because you don't want to leave people to do that by using technology alone. The human touch is very important. So it combines the technology with the human touch to help you to draft your own will, right? And then you have the professionals who guide you and hold your hand through the whole process.
So Legacy Care Plus, that is UMB Legacy Care Plus, is a will drafting solution, which is part of our broad estate planning solution.
Wow. I haven't thought about this in this way. So how then do we sync a bank providing financial services and then providing this advisory services?
Okay, so we love our clients so well, and we know that we are building wealth, we are struggling, we are hustling under the sun and creating something. Now we want to be sure that whatever we build benefits our loved ones in our absence. And so it is very critical for a bank to provide an added-on service for our clients so that they plan their estate. In any case, we keep their monies for them. We support their businesses. And so we should be able to help them plan their estates to take care of their loved ones in their absence.
Yeah. And UMB, you have a great legacy until you metamorphose into UMB. Great bank, having been in Ghana, established since 1972. And so it works well with that history behind. Now, if you want to create that legacy, it also means that there's some, advisory, or you're saying that they should be in a position where they make that decision concerning their wealth. How do you then persuade us? You know, Africa we did. When we're talking about wills, we're thinking that if we do our will, we're going to die. What assurances do you give them? And why should that be a very important financial decision that they make?
So preparing your will is just like estate planning generally. And you know, estate planning is not only about wills. You can have trusts. And in fact, I'm sure most of us will have life insurance policies. And even SNIT beneficiaries would have nominated some people. They are all forms of estate planning. But the will helps you put everything together.
Yeah.
You see, and you have loved ones. You have younger children. And you want to be sure that in your absence, they don't go astray or stranded. They don't become too needy. Meanwhile, you have worked hard. You have saved some money. So it is very necessary for you. There are some people too who have businesses, right? And in Ghana, we know that some businesses end when the owner dies. So it's a way of ensuring that there's succession for you in your business as well. And in Ghana, if you do not make a will, the law determines how your estate is distributed. And the way the law determines that doesn't have your interests or what you want to say at heart. It has to do what the law says. There are some people you actually don't want to benefit from your estate. But if you don't plan, the law, of course, will plan for you.
Yeah.
So you want to be able to have your say and let the law respect your wishes when you are not around.
So a typical client, how do they start? Is there an app, or do they walk into your offices? What do they do?
So we want you to do this in a very convenient way, which is why we start with a digital process. So you can access it on the UMB website, or you can use our UMB Speed Up. And then you just go there, you fill the form. After filling the form, you book an appointment with the team. The team contacts you, and then we take it from there. We hold your hand throughout the process.
All right.
So it's very simple.
So it's not, I don't necessarily need to have first-time accounts, or let's say an account holder, so to speak.
So when you come to UMB for this service, because we are a bank, we need to do some checks because of regulatory requirements, and then we can be able to open accounts for you. But even if you don't have accounts with us now, you can start with that.
And do a walk-in.
Exactly.
All right. So you're launching this in a grand style.
Yes, we're launching tomorrow. And I wanted to add something to what Nina said. You know that usually when people pass in Ghana or in Africa, you would hear people say, oh, Papa Wahanka. If your father was here, if your parents were here. Meanwhile, these parents may have really lived, you know, and have acquired wealth. Oh, papa. May have acquired wealth. But because you do not have a will, then everybody decides how they want to, you know, share your estates. And then the people that you actually would love to benefit from don't get to benefit from it. So it's important. In fact, one of my team members, Faustina, will say that, hey, this looks like selling death. But then she'll sit back and say, but it's important too, and it's really important. So we are launching tomorrow. Like I mentioned earlier, we have done the internal launch, and we're opening up to the public tomorrow. Now, yes, it's a media launch. We're going to have TV3 will be there, and our friends from the other media houses will be there as well. And then we will tell the story, how it's originated, the intent, and then walk you through the whole process. And then we're hoping that the world gets to hear about it, you know, from tomorrow. And then everybody is able to access the service right from when we launch and open up to the world tomorrow. So it's tomorrow at 9 a.m. at our premises at UMB, and we have invited the media. And we're still throwing invites out. So you want to come and learn about it and also be able to, you know, educate the world on our Legacy Care Plus service.
But Nine, again, you can download the UMB Speed App.
Yes.
Or you go to the site.
Yes.
You can do, yes,
Both.
either of them.
Yeah,
Or you
okay.
can even do both. Because the moment you log in, an account will be created for you in there that you can log in with your OTP. So you can do it either on the website or continue from the Speed App.
And by so doing, it means that you have your legal team. Of course, you're a lawyer as well. So you have who will be helping.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Yes.
UMB.
Yeah.
Charlie.
And just to add, if you're having any, I mean, we're not anticipating that you will have challenges, but you know, there are people who are not very internet savvy. You want to go on the internet, they don't want to. You can still reach out to our contact center. It runs 24 hours. It's not one of those 24 hours that after 8 p.m. doesn't work. So you can reach out to our contact center, toll free on 0800 100 880. 0800 100 8800, or you want to call 0302 6333, no, 0302 633 988. You can call and then you will also be guided through the process. 24 hours, you can call any of these numbers. And like she mentioned, our Speed App, you can sit in the comfort of your home, right on your phone, and start the process. And then you will be guided through it with our team of professionals as well.
I just love this. The UMB Legacy Care Plus,
Yeah.
your trusted estate planning.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, Lawyer Nine, thank you for passing through, and then also Adam 19. Thank you.
Roland, thank you for having
Thank you so much for having
and so
us.
please, when the launch is done, make sure that you check them out. The UMB Legacy Care Plus, and whatever your needs are regarding your estate, you know, wills. You know, when you hear estate, some people think that paraku and no, wills. So when you buy the physical buildings and the properties you have and the cash or the assets, then you are able to apportion it as you deem fit when you are alive. And that opportunity is being given to you by UMB through their UMB Legacy Care Plus. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Very intelligent and distinguished. But next, we have to bring you the latest sports headline. Make sure you stick and stay. We're up next.
11 a.m. and then at 1 p.m. still at Alisa Hotel here. This is where all the action will be at. So many media personalities, so many media houses, including ourselves, will be here to give the live coverage of that presser, which would involve Carlos Queiroz. Remember that Carlos Queiroz comes in with a wealth of experience, the 73-year-old having managed the likes of Manchester United as an assistant coach, shortly with Real Madrid, having managed Egypt to the AFCON final back in 2021, having managed Iran to 3 different World Cup positions, and also managing Portugal back in 2010 where they reached the round of 16 in the 2010 World Cup.
We also the expectation that heralded his announcement. Subsequently, his entry into Ghana through the Accra International Airport. What's the talk among you, the sports journalists and the sports administrators regarding Carlos Queiroz?
I mean, the talk around him is, I mean, whether he can deliver. Also noting that he has a very short period of time to actually get the job done. About 2 months into the job, he's playing in the World Cup. Before that, he will be managing probably in 2 friendlies, the one between Ghana and Mexico on the 22nd of May, and the one between Ghana and Wales, which will be happening on the 2nd of June. And we expect that maybe the Black Stars might have one more friendly before the start of the 2026 World Cup. Of course, remember that the Black Stars haven't particularly performed in the World Cup in the last 8 years or so. Back in 2014, they got knocked out of the group stage amid a lot of controversy. Back in 2022 also, they got knocked out of the group stage as well. And so the target now would be basically to get past the group stage. And maybe if the luck shines, could get to the quarterfinal, just as what happened back in 2010.
All right. We're at that time of the season where a lot of clubs make the big boardroom decisions. And in England, the latest casualty when it comes to the decision about non-performing managers is Chelsea. Why did they sack their coach?
Yeah, Liam Rosenoir did perform quite badly with Chelsea, losing the last 5 Premier League games. I believe the recent loss against Brighton was the final straw for the board, who decided to let him go. It was a difficult one because Liam Rosenoir himself came at the middle of the season after Chelsea parted ways with Maresca, who did win the Club World Cup just before the start of that particular season. And so now Chelsea would have to be looking forward to try and appoint someone by the end of the season, because they did announce that Stuart McFarlane will be managing the club until the end of the season. Now, Stuart happens to be the manager when it comes to the youth teams of Chelsea, the under-23, and so he's stepping up until the end of the season while Chelsea take their time to find a possible or suitable replacement to take them through next season.
Well, so they have to look for a new manager then. It has to be. But 2 of our players in Leicester are feeling it. They've been relegated.
Yes, Abdul Fattah Issahaku and also Jordan Ayew. Jordan Ayew's case is quite curious because he has suffered relegations on 5 different occasions with 4 teams. He suffered relegation with Osho, he suffered relegation with Aston Villa, suffered relegation with Swansea City, and now he suffered back-to-back relegations with Leicester City. The first one happening last season from the Premier League down to the Championship, and then happening again this season from the Championship to League One, which is the 3rd division when it comes to English football. Not really good on him because at this age, at 34, now he has to make a very good case for himself, especially at the 2026 World Cup, for any other club which is of the ilk of some of the best in Europe to look at him. For Abdul Fattah Issahaku, though, I think his case is quite different. I think for him, a lot of clubs will definitely want to sign him. He's just 22. He's still a very good winger. In the Championship this season, he scored 9 goals. He was very crucial for Leicester City, although they got relegated. And he's one definitely for the future. I think for him, he will not have as much problems finding another club as maybe Jordan Ayew might have. But again, the World Cup will be very, very crucial for these two with regards to making their respective cases for any club in Europe, because a lot of clubs in Europe with their scouts will be watching the World Cup for potential new signings. And so this will be make or break, especially for Jordan Ayew, and also maybe an opportunity for Fatawu Issahaku to make a very big case for himself for a much, much bigger club.
Well, see how that goes. And we have to let you go for now by you wrapping up. Has he walked in yet? Have you sighted him around, maybe through your side eye?
Not yet, but I'll keep my eyes open. Definitely, a lot of people are hoping to see Carlos Queiroz making an appearance around here. I would suspect that he's still resting somewhere around, and hopefully before we get to sight him before he takes his seat. As I mentioned earlier, he's expected to sit in the middle of these three seats right at the front, because his is designed specially for him, and we hope that he does show the confidence that a lot of Ghanaians have placed in him, and the GFA has placed in him as well.
Well, quite some branding you have behind you there. But we'll touch base with you again, because when it comes to Sports Daily, that's where you'll be running the business from, is that not it? And we expect that you, Michael Otieje, who leads the whole department, and 3 Sports, and then the rest of all the connoisseurs and the football administrators will be talking to the subject. It'll be live.
No, please no.
Well, that's Bill Lishan coming to us live from Alisa Hotel. It's where we expect a press conference to formally announce Carlos Queiroz, who is our new Black Star coach, taking the team to the World Cup. That's just under 50 days away. So make sure you stick and stay right here when we have sports. Imbe is the title of Na Shoko's documentary, when she made the decision to venture once again and put together this great package as she experienced fishing expedition with fisher folk at the coastal areas of Accra.
It's Ghana's biggest grassroots sports competition, 20 years strong and still.
Well, again, we told you about that documentary, London Bay, that Nash put together, made a decision to go to coastal Accra, go to the fisher folk, sit in the boats or the canoes, go for fishing. This is what she found out in this documentary. We'll bring you a repeat.
Started off as an experience of the day in the life of a fisherman. But it slowly turned into a very damning revelation about the difficulties that a London beach, which was constructed to help the people, now presents the people with. I love Teshi. I'm from Teshi. Teshi is one of the most communally beautiful places in Ghana. You cannot talk about Teshi without talking about fishing. For the people of Teshi, fishing is not just an occupation. It has a heart and soul. Curious to understand this life, I joined the fishermen in one of their expeditions, and what I witnessed was eye-opening.
This is my first time on a fishing canoe. I'm dizzy and nauseous. And very nauseous. I knew it would be like this, but it's actually a lot more scary than I thought. The canoe is not stable at all. It keeps moving with the waves. And many times I thought we'd fall into the ocean. But they're standing and they're okay. So I guess it's safe.
A few times I tried to help them pull the nets and pull the ropes. My palms after 10 minutes were all sore and I could feel pain in my back, my palms. I began to feel a little seasick. It was all so much, but the men, the fishermen, for hours they pulled the nets.
They go through a lot to bring us the fish that we eat. I think I appreciate fishermen a little more now than before. I can't wait to get out of I can't wait for it to be over. I feel vomit rising up my throat. They're so strong. They're really strong. It's a lot more difficult than it looks.
And when the fish finally came out, the fish was so little. And I thought, all of that hard work, for this small catch? And they said, yes, that's how it is sometimes. But every day you must come out and do the work because you have family waiting for you back at home. That's the work. They work so hard.
This has been good. A very eye-opening experience.
Out on the water, I asked many questions, but there was one answer that stayed with me. I asked a simple question. What is your biggest fear in this profession? I expected them to say the storms, or the strong tides, or the dangers of working in the open sea. Instead, they said something shocking. The wharf. The London Bay. Confused, I asked them why something built to help them had become their greatest fear. What they told me was heartbreaking.
In late 2018, efforts began to improve fishing activities along Ghana's coast. The government of Ghana secured funding from the China Development Bank Loan Facility to develop 10 modern coastal fish landing sites. Sites were planned for Axim, Dieskov, Elmina, Moray, Manford, Winneba, Senya-Breku, Gomoafete, Teshi, and Kita. In addition, 2 fishing ports were to be developed at Elmina and Jamestown. This project was one of government's priority initiatives to support coastal fishing communities. The project was implemented by the Ministry of Fisheries and Aquaculture Development with the supervision from Ghana's Ports and Harbours Authority, GPHA. This falls under the authority's mandate in the GPHA Law of 1986, PNDC Law 160, to plan, build, operate and manage ports and harbours in Ghana. The goal was simple but important. These landing sites were designed to make it safer for fishermen to launch and land their canoes. For communities like Teshi, these developments represent a step towards a stronger and more sustainable future for the fishing industry.
But along this shore, something has changed.
She amepene mintaji alimu kume ki ajeje mu kume wonye manshika kwa fe ni lo woche manshika kwa fe ba je nyanu ngre nyo tete ya yimi ni le won won fe di.
The fishermen know the danger, and the questions keep coming. This is not just a London Bay. It's a test of survival.
Achọm John Mate mama wole nyojimi ente wa ono se mba chon yache ken ye wo mi ken fi ya ne okokla afi nyumu enyu 20 years won se ni sho na san bien chuni e bien ga kwen bi kete fino fiano lele a fe nyo ji dwe ne mi nyo ji dwe mi pepepe ne wo ye bien ni na agba baba bi pe den show yin mbi nu ekome mi je je bombo abon moto ni ji wo chole chuni ya ma e anas no afite tomo deep sea nwe ton onre asmi ni ji abasa nyu nwe nu wo ne etwa keba ni wolele ke mi je je chuni ni ke wo mi ni wo te wa wo ame womba ni wo be ni wa wole me ni wo she wo ba she wa fe na abuwe cafe amele ko baba yo wa e domo mi awo ni wo she na abuwe ni iso twawo bibi o so amele twawo kebre makoni be ni wo ya le sku e ba ji wo ka ma se kin ton ogbe si cafe ni egbo wo lele ke choni e ke gbe mefe ka wo te se egbe te na abuwo chole bukangbe ni ji tamagbe nu ni bi yin fi bakpata lele no bia ni me ikule sho na fi o no me ba wo yi gbe ke bibi na ka ti wo ababa ameyi sugun gbele ajimi si yo wa iwale na e ha ne bale na ka si ni bi yin fi bakpata abon moto yin pata ya yin pata lele yin pata no ka wo che ne ga gapo abi ni ameba ahun ni wo fie gidigidi ake ni na fie awo e ke gbele baba.
John Martin Mama showed me the remains of his canoe completely destroyed after powerful tides pushed them violently against the wharf. He considers himself lucky. Others were not so fortunate.
Nkele kanshin eya wo nkele kanshin abachele skumi eteshi shenyono eteshi mboko bose badi bachele nkele to ke hinle ya eshi kule kanshin epene ni ite nete ebako simeni anu ake oshina eba ona go jame fe amuni kete me pashian shile ebako shenyanyo komi akele plashan akele te lekma omi fila ke be de kule ni enyanyo enwe pala be na te lekma be kule nya mese kete bo wo shan fe ive ni ke be kule nya mese kete o anye me gbomo baba lo pa won fe ko le ya wo no na cha fe 5 kese still be pa do nye me po ya ke be wa ya insure na wa ko ni wo sha linga no ni bo ke wa ke wo po se shoni ba eba omo onita ke no ni be bo mo akemi ni tra ke gbomo be egbolo e ke o wo pa àwọn egbomo ba wo pa àwọn gbomo ba yo wo ba shin wo ba ta shin wa tra fe wo fu mi market wo fo ko wo wa tra one kese wo kan shin mo ko ba shi koko anyale te se owule e ba gbe sin ye koko bridge e awo lele lo imache ebi e ko le ne mi na me lo mi na te na ya wo le ke ba machine pane owule ba de shi ni obi e te show bi chama mo fa ne enyame sekete fa aba akale ba fa lingano na ba chemi ni minte o ya fa ne ni ya pale ni mete ni wa mi emi ma fo ni ya pale ana pale kolo ejile
Anyele lost her husband.
ye pen pi de mi manin na yo da se ye kakaka shi wa fo e wo ipa wo ya aja ke obla yo ni ya ni yo gbele ye iwo lele mi ta wo ya wo e first kwa ya wo e ke ison tu fi wa mo sho na ya si bi ane wa fo na fe wo e ona sho ke no ke chubo no ebu to lele lo aga ni fi no che wo mi bo de aga ba ni bi ayi ni le we pene ka shile wa fo e duran lele fe fiti machine fe fiti ya fe mi yo ke mi shile te bi agba lo ke je ya shi jo lo bi ane kan te shi mi ni wana ga ye e ke na di problem e yang tawo ya pi pa ga se ne.
Joseph Kortejan can no longer stand up straight or walk properly after being crushed into the wharf by strong tides during a fishing trip.
Lele ke chone ke ya fe ba nye she to mo 1 billion ni bi afite o na ska ke je wo ya mi don o bi an itun ka winter.
These are not isolated incidents. These are everyday realities of the people of Teshi who go to sea to earn a living.
From what the fisher folks say, there are structural defects with the construction, with the landing beach. They complain about the direction of the landing beach and the direction of the wind and the tides. The explanation is that because of the direction of the landing beach, when they are coming from their fishing expeditions, the wind and the tide sometimes carry the canoe directly into the construction, leading to a destruction of their very expensive canoes and sometimes loss of life. They also explain that the construction obstructs their view from seeing the beach. Before, they could see everything, and if someone was drowning, they could help them. Now they can't see, and so there have been drowning incidents where the fishermen have just been totally oblivious of what's happening and people have died.
Kentashi kendwe imutu sham ake imbile ame 4 sin amebenu lepe yong efiai nkele ya kem e ya school jente ene shene nkele ya wo chiche funu editon dani mba shan ekome kemi ya ni ne school nkwe nkele ga mi qualify e ga bika school ami ne ane able to school trim dani le we ya ame class sin Monday ni ba na eji 2 months eje school iba e ga ba you come get fro ne ya le mi nka unsumo fro tin sumo kena muni ya ikena ne gelefen o batachu mi no ba yi no ba yi tani e ba shatin si jan ne ga o ma ya so e chuwenshi ne gela ka o munta wo je egbe iwo keje ahwe ni kuma yele kun ba kemi aka o ma kuma yele si an cho 4 mfo ni abele mo ya linga no mo bi mi aka dele ngo yo ni ka o ni SPD ne ka umba alinga no ba tembi la ka mi ne ba ne kan ba ni gaga chomu ni jin bemba se ga ta jin bi kan bi enyo mi kan bi le atali ke e protocol ko to ke ba ke amegele won sho na me ke la ke ene won sho ke ya jeme wa fu e wo bu ye jeme esteme ka di mu ko te bi kan ko won sho e jeme sale because wa fu na fe wa cha jeme wo bu ye jeme bi kan de ke na kan fu bi ke di akeke ise jeme e ba chen zon ka wo obi kan bi ama ba jame jomi ye no si chu ko me to be na ma fu ame ye e bi le mpele na mu bige bin amenye la mewo obe na me fufa na fe amenya ba che boy se ni po ya yin sure na ke ni biye bi na ba che boy se ya atawan bila hu anale sure ke lete wo wa fu na fe ye dim e gbe me din te din bile pe anako lo lolo e ba ko wololo 2 months ne ba ko wololo
Inwo ni etenu me ri ti mi ko papo ake osofo ke ya wale ni shona se afo canopy ni de shem se me ko se ba le ke ya don Nika ke ya miti eti okeji. Iba ka shebe ka sikunu wo fe mu wo. So le ke ya onu anu kwale we ton. Si so me ma hele sino wa te make so is afraid. Oh, me so is afraid. Mo le ke ya so na wo e small room ko mi le wo de me. Ni bonnet mo bra afraid anyway. Le mbilete. Ah, me this stand here. He osofu e nso e sha osofu e. Wo le ya save osofu e. Ile ke twense.
The one you brother le ite me. The eyewitnesses ni anonymous. Ameke ile hu ya call. Wo fellow. Allo.
Be.
Me tutuntumba.
Nso e sha osofu e kenda. Mulina lepo e twense ya nso. Then we ya wo. Instead for that bini. Eke enake. Nso e sha osofu e. Ni bile here free. Yet any I save osofu e. Ni shock and bilete.
Or ben I can be in short shabby.
That was software labor. None won't put that now for ya 4 in the mobu. Can't look woman now for him. In New York, I tell you, can't look my 4 in the Boyago. No more pay decision. One come with pay decision. One more pay decision. Non pay decision. Sister. Non pay decision. Me. Non pay decision.
Bemi ni ate ko ni ke wa fun ni. Ke bo ke ten so wo ni no ko ba mo ko here. Wonyo wota agon here wona aton odu ofu. Wa wo me ye mo ko ke ni. E mi den jen hi. Si ba na fe le he wo. Ke sure ke be ke bi en ya ana. Onyo na. Be na ba ye de shin e ka meti.
Anokwa. Ni na ba fe di me egbe ogun. Bele apa ma se tesima ni ni e patama bi ahin wa wo keji no ko fe mo ye he won pa ban fai na ba fe no ko ye ha wo ya ke ma yin ne patan ke last ne shu ke won show me de la bibio.
The fishermen told me what they envisioned when they were promised a landing bay was something similar to the construction in Jamestown. Out of curiosity, I visited the Jamestown Fishing Harbour to see and experience this firsthand. At the Jamestown Harbour, I asked the fisherfolk what their impressions were of the landing bay in Teshi.
Ona ejole jemi binu ni e ole be fun kura Teshi ni na fe keke yi o mi yin kura gbele ni amba fe e aka bo awo ke yo mo ko na bibi be do ba na ba ga gbomo egbo ni egbe mi ni amika mi fe waf a lo tele be amika mba fe waf ni na mba fe gbele o je yin kura ara agbo enso na agbo enso ke yo mu enso ko ami gbe enso na bi e ami gbe mi ni ogo no do anu na me fe je ami ba me wo mana yo mo ri je o so le chebo ko je bi o te je me na gbari wa na onye wa ji.
Their answers raised more concerns. Questions the fishermen could not answer. So I went a step further to visit the GPHA, the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, to seek further clarification. I was instructed to submit a letter with my questions and would subsequently get answers.
At the time the issues were identified, the project consultants advised that the allocated funds for remedial works had been fully exhausted. During the pre-handover inspection, the then Deputy Minister of Transport indicated that the ministry would explore options for securing additional funding to address the outstanding issues. The matter of damaged canoes and the unfortunate loss of lives came to GPHA's attention through the Ministry of Transport in June 2023, following the receipt of a petition from the fisherfolk raising concerns about the Teshi landing site and its impact on their operations, including safety issues. Upon receipt of the petition, the Ministry of Transport took up the matter directly and engaged a private contractor to assess the situation and provide cost estimates for remedial works to address the challenges identified. In 2024, the then Deputy Minister for Transport visited the site and engaged with the community, during which he assured the fisherfolk that the ministry would explore funding options to implement the necessary remedial measures. It is important to note that the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority operates under the supervision of the Ministry of Transport and acts based on policy direction and instructions from the ministry. As such, following these engagements, GPHA at the level of engineers has not received further directives from the Ministry of Transport regarding the next steps to be taken. Though GPHA is not involved in the day-to-day management or oversight of any landing sites, including Teshi, GPHA remains committed to supporting efforts to ensure the safety of fishermen and the surrounding community and will act promptly once formal instruction and budgetary support are received.
I further wrote to the Ministry of Transportation, since the construction of the landing bay was under the authority of this ministry with supervision from the GPHA.
The Ministry of Transportation responds. With regards to defects, since the question is engineering and design related, we advise that you contact the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority.
Today, what the people of Teshin are asking for has absolutely nothing to do with politics. They are asking for help. They are asking to be heard. They are asking for safety to be returned to the shore. This is an honest plea to the authorities, stakeholders, and all who care about our coastal communities to come to the aid of our fishermen. Because behind every canoe that leaves the shore is a family waiting for someone to come back home.
Indeed, is a family waiting for someone to come home. Those last words of Nashoko, who put together this documentary for us at Teshi London Bay. And as you saw, it was streamed yesterday, and we've just brought you a replay of that, still on our social. So in case you didn't follow the full documentary, you can still go back on our socials and watch them. You're still here on Newday on TV3. When we come back, we'll bring you some more. Do stay with us. doesn't die. Yes, but let me just remind you, or perhaps I should ask whether you knew that Malta Guinness is brewed from real malt, barley and sorghum. Well, it is, and the sorghum is grown right here in Ghana. Malta Guinness is not just a soft drink, but a quality refreshment boosted with vitamin B vitamins. Also, charge forward towards your goals with each sip of it to nourishing natural goodness. Now selling at a cool 12 Ghana cities. So vim up your daily pursuit with the revitalizing taste of Malta Guinness, packaged with B vitamins. It's time to make that move. It's time for a cold Malta Guinness. Yes, remember always to look out for the proudly made in Ghana symbol on every bottle or can of Malta Guinness. Malta Guinness, we move. And if it's your birthday, we want to help you celebrate your birthday. Martin Asiedudate, it's your birthday today. And we'll be going into that. Happy birthday to you from me, from all of us, and we'll be bringing you more of that. But this Sunday, April 26th, at the National Theatre, Talented Kids Season 17 comes to a grand finale, starting at 3 p.m. sharp for just a cool 50 Ghana cedis. You witness 5 incredible young stars: Jasper Blue, DJ Zeb, Eno the Poet, Poet Clisha, and Queen Dessa battle it out for the ultimate title. It's talent, it's energy, and it's entertainment. Inspiration all in one show. Don't miss the Fun Talented Kids Season 17 finale Sunday, 26th April at the National Theatre, 3 p.m. sharp. Again, cool 50 Ghana cities. Tickets are available at TV3 premises. Talented Kids, free to play. Yes, you can see the display there, the finalists who are going into this Sunday, 26th of April. 5 finalists. How many ladies? 3 ladies, 2 guys. Who is going to take the crown? You don't want to miss this. Sharp here at the premises of TV3, sharp 3 p.m. And of course, it's 50 Ghana cedis. You can get tickets here at the main gate, TV3, gate 1, I believe, which is the main gate, the front desk there. And it's just a cool 50 Ghana cedis. Come and see the kids display their talent and support them. And of course, the best one, may the best one win, we always say. Yes. Is it your birthday today? Already, I did say that Martin Asiedudate, presenter here, versatile gentleman. Yes, it's your birthday today, Martin Asiedudate. May the Lord's anointing guide and strengthen you every day. We love you from your wife, Kate, and the entire staff of MG. Happy birthday to you, Martino. We call him. Happy birthday, Martin. We love you. General Martino, I hear that as well. Coach Tony Loco of Mediama FC. God bless you, Coach. Reverend Agbogbomefia of the Asogli, revered Togbi Apede. So revered Agbogbomefia of the Asogli State, Togbi Apede, the 14th. Continue raising the standards. We are proud of you from all the people of Asogli State. Happy birthday to you, sir. Nanama Adom Ofori from Captain. Happy birthday. Nasi Kappa. Yasi Kappa. Happy birthday. Cornelius K. Kwega. Happy birthday. Engineer Justin Chogbe Glover. Dagaju Gloria Makafui. Happy birthday of the Ghana Air Force. Happy birthday, ma'am. Chris Courtyard Fiawonu. Happy birthday to you, sir. Mrs. Vanessa Asrifi. Happy birthday to you, ma'am. Diamond. Beautiful name. Have an amazing year. Sarah. Happy birthday to you. Emmanuel Rigani. Happy birthday to you, sir. Fire Officer Odro, happy birthday to you, sir. Mrs. Helena Kosia Awotre, happy birthday. Bismarck Ato, happy birthday to you, sir. I celebrate the wonderful man you are, my rock, my best friend, and the love of my life from your wife, Mrs. Boateng. Mrs. Boateng, you didn't add the name, but happy birthday to you, sir. Rejoice, Abla Huanyeji, happy birthday to you, ma'am. Rosina, happy birthday. Gladys Otu, happy birthday. Efia Finest, happy birthday, Finest. Na Dede Mate, happy birthday to you, Na. Regina Hammond, happy birthday. Raymond, happy birthday to you. Samuel Kwachi Anyan, happy birthday. Kofi Asari, happy birthday to you, sir. Dr. Mrs. Sharon Bonsub, happy birthday to you. Hope I got your surname correctly. Happy birthday to you, Dr. Mrs. Master Jason, happy birthday. Nicholas Asamoah, happy birthday, sir. Edwina Gleda Annan, happy birthday to you. Fire Officer Ojoke, I read that already. Happy birthday to you, Fire Officer, once again. Godwin Kekeli Amegache, happy birthday. From Shadimain, Shadrach Abbey, producer, Nite, happy birthday to you, sir. And he's the CEO of K Event Solutions. May God bless your new age. Godwin Kekeli Amegache from Shadrach Abbey. Well, that'll be it for our show today. My name is Pechu Sedu. Thank you so much for joining us. Of course, I was here as well with Roland Walker, and we'll see you tomorrow. Do enjoy the rest of our programs. Have a great day.